All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to day 2 of the NASCAR Xfinity Series Chicago Street Course race for the running of the Loop 121. Currently downpouring at the Chicago Speedway or Street Course racetrack, I guess, right now. So not sure if they're going to get back to racing here immediately. We were expected to go green at about 11 a.m. this morning, so we'll keep you posted and updated on this live stream as our coverage continues. The NASCAR Cup race is supposed to be scheduled. It looks like 11:30 will be the schedule now, so they've moved the start time back for the Xfinity Series race a half hour, it looks like. So we're expected to go racing at about 11:30 a.m. this morning. As of what it looked like they posted on the USA Network at the bottom left-hand corner of the screen for anybody watching the actual coverage of the race. So hopefully the rain will be out of there by then and they will get to racing. It's too much of a downpour, it looks like right now. There is definitely puddling on the racetrack. Of course, with the tighter confines of a street course, it's probably a lot easier to have some puddling in between the concrete barriers on both sides of the racetrack. But there are crew members that are walking pit road right now under umbrellas, obviously, because of the rain. And it does look like the skies are starting to clear up in the background. So, again, we're roughly a half hour away from the drop of the green flag. But thanks for everybody tuning in here. Again, this is our second attempt to get this race in. We left off yesterday at lap 25, just 5 laps shy of the halfway mark that could have made the race official. Cole Custer is currently your race leader. He qualified on the pole, won the first stage. We also have 5 laps to go in stage 2 to get to halfway also. And we have had 3 cautions so far in the race. Lap 4, we had the 10 car of Justin Marks, who was running this weekend for owner of Trackhouse Racing, but running for Colleague Racing. He blew an engine fluid on the racetrack there. They had to clean that up, and then there was a crash in turn 1 for the 34 of Andre Castro. He hit pretty hard, awkward angle. Great job by the tire barrier holding up there. It looked like it definitely softened the impact as much as it could have into one of the more high-speed corners on the racetrack. And again, it was definitely an awkward angle hit, but it didn't look as stiff as it probably could have been, so that was good to see. And then the lightning delay, which ended up turning the resumption of the race to today. There wasn't much rain at the track yesterday, but there was thunderstorms within an 8-mile radius, so maybe in parts of Chicago it was raining, but the rain isn't the reason for why they were pushing the race back to today. It was because of the lightning, and it didn't look like, according to NASCAR, that they had gotten word from local weather, affiliates or whatever, that it wasn't going to move out of there for like another 2 hours, which would have led pretty close to nighttime, because I think it was about 7:30 yesterday that 7:30 Eastern Standard Time, so it would have been about 6:30 local time that they decided to call the race, at least for yesterday. And then again, they were initially looking at an 11 a.m. start time. We were expecting cars on the track right now, but it looks like they pushed that back to 11:30. And again, the Cup race is still scheduled to go for later on today. Drop of the green flag for that race is scheduled for 5:54 Eastern Standard Time, which local time that would be about 4:54. And then our live commentary coverage for that race will begin at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time later today with our pre-race coverage. So that is kind of what we're looking at for right now. Dark Crypto, Stanley C. Panther, Bentley Potts, Union Pacific 4855, Billy Kramer, Juanita Luna, and others, welcome into the stream. So, yeah, this is interesting. We're under a rain delay again, right where we left off. And I started the live stream right as they were going on the USA Network. If I would have known this was going to be the case, I wouldn't have started the live stream until they went back to racing. But we are here. Once again, good morning, everybody. It's going to be a long day of streaming. This is very similar. This feels very similar to that of the Monday, Memorial Day, Xfinity Coke 600 race day. It feels almost like that. The only difference is they're not going to be able to run this race after the Cup race because there's not enough time in the day to be able to do so. So hopefully they can get this race in today, and they will not have to race tomorrow. I don't know how that's going to work out with the city of Chicago itself. Again, they're only 5 laps away from potentially making the race official. So they were very, very close to getting to that halfway mark yesterday. Yeah, they're on a delay still. But again, we were looking at 11:30 is what USA Network's most recent time was posted. So 11:30 they're going to try it. again. They are showing the coverage of yesterday's race once again on the channel, or on not on the channel. This is this channel. Well, I guess on the channel meaning USA Network, not KRC. That is where you're listening live to this race. NASCAR Fan 33, thanks for tuning in also. Yeah, hopefully we get some racing in today. We were doing some Sporcle quizzes during the rain delay yesterday. We might end up doing that until the start of the Xfinity race again here today. Sharik B, thanks for tuning in. If they race tomorrow, will you do the live stream still? Yes, I do plan. If they do end up having to race tomorrow, there will be live commentary. I don't work Mondays at my full-time job, so I'm off Friday. I work 3 days during the week, Tuesday through Thursday. So yeah, I'll be a full go for Monday. Have you heard about Simon Pagenaud's flip? Yeah, they mentioned it during the rain delay yesterday during the Xfinity race, and that was the first replay I saw of it, and they actually showed it again here before they started airing what happened during this race yesterday. Wild. Scary incident. I haven't looked up any word on whether or not he is going to be racing today or not. Hopefully he is. And hopefully he's okay. Did get out under his own power. Crazy wreck. That's the same corner I sat in at Mid-Ohio for the IndyCar and the Truck Series race yesterday. Justin Marks hit pretty hard last year, too, when he had a brake failure going into that corner. And there is like it almost looks like a launching pad, because I remember Marks' car coming up off the ground a little bit and then kind of just landing on all four. But obviously with the open-wheel cars being so much lighter, it was probably so much easier for it to just torpedo off like that. Scary scene, definitely, at Mid-Ohio yesterday. Sports highlights every day, 1082. Thanks for tuning in. He's not racing today. That's unfortunate. Dale Campbell, Frank Powers, thanks for tuning in. Bentley Potts, Giancarlo, thanks for tuning in also. Connor Daly subbing for him. Didn't see the truck race yesterday. The trucks were off yesterday. Trucks weren't racing. They had the off week this week. They are at Mid-Ohio next week, the Truck Series is. Which, just like I mentioned last year, because I went to both races, they were back-to-back weekends. Why don't they run the truck and IndyCar on the same weekend there? Like, like if they can do that at other tracks, why can't they do it there? IndyCar gets such a great turnout on 4th of July weekend for this race. Going to that race last year, I couldn't believe it. Because 4th of July was on a Monday, so it wasn't like actually the 4th of July. It was the day before the 4th, but it was the weekend of the 4th, and they had a lot of people there. I was quite surprised, because I had been to the Xfinity Series race the year before at Mid-Ohio, and then I went to the truck race that following weekend, and there was nowhere near as many people there for that as what there was for IndyCar. A lot of open-wheel racing fans there, which is kind of the case in Ohio, I've noticed. Open-wheel and dirt racing, it's really big there, but for whatever reason, NASCAR just... I mean, and granted, the Cup Series has never... Well, I'm not going to say never have been in the state of Ohio, but it's probably been a very, very long time. Not in my lifetime, I'll tell you that much. I mean, maybe they ran a random race there back in the 50s and 60s. I'd have no clue, but... Actually, I do think they did run back at Toledo in the 50s, I believe, which is my home city. I think I remember doing like a little bit of research on that a long time ago. I was like, no way. It's similar to where the old, I'm actually wearing a Toledo Mud Hen shirt, but where their old baseball stadium was. It's somewhere in that area. A little bit south of, downtown Toledo. I think they have a rec center there now, if I'm not mistaken. It's not even a racetrack. I do think they have like a quarter-mile, like concrete oval track there for go-karts, quarter midgets, like asphalt racing. I do think that's there. But that's pretty much in the general area where they had that, however big that racetrack was. Actually, it's not even a quarter mile. I don't know what I was thinking. It's more like an eighth mile. It might not even be like for that. It might be like one of those like local like go-kart tracks where you can take your, kids and Like everybody's bashing each other, running around this like race. It might be one of those things. I could be wrong on that. It could be like one of those. I do know there's something of a racetrack there in that general area. Mike George, thanks for tuning into the stream also. Zachary K, welcome. We're up to 20 likes. I don't really have a goal for likes on this stream specifically because I have no clue how long this stream is going to be. Has NASCAR ever canceled or concluded a race after several days of rain? Yeah, Texas 2020, I can remember. They started the race on Sunday. They ran like 50 laps, and they had mist, like a heavy enough mist that they could not finish the race Sunday, and they did not even resume the race until like Wednesday. And this was in the playoffs late in the season, so they did that, and then like 4 days later they had the second last race of the year at Martinsville. So it was a very important time of the year to have that happen. But I remember the teams and stuff were stuck in Texas for like 3 extra days. And it was during the height of COVID too, so like to get like the hotel rooms and stuff for the teams, it was pretty tough at that time. Actually, I mean, Texas was more wide open, so maybe it wasn't quite as tough. If you were to have a state to be stuck in during that situation, Texas probably would have been one of the better ones, just because they wouldn't have been so secluded with like no way of getting like food or drinks or anything. I can't remember. I think they might have had like fans in attendance for that race. Obviously, it would have been like a partial crowd, but I don't even know how many would have stuck it out for 3 whole days. Yeah, hopefully that doesn't happen here. They did it at Michigan back in like the late 2000s. I can't remember what year it was. It was before I started going to Michigan International Speedway. But there was a June race that they were supposed to have there that they didn't run till like Tuesday because of rain. But that one, it didn't start Sunday. They just didn't start it till Tuesday. Yeah, the Texas race, they actually started on Sunday, got like 50 laps in, but they were nowhere close to halfway, so they couldn't make it official. DoorDash Red, thanks for tuning in. Chris Ransom, welcome. What's the forecast for today there? I'll look at the Weather Channel and see what they've got posted. I thought I looked at it earlier today, and it said that the rain was going to be out of there after 11. It's 11. It was still downpouring. But you can definitely see that there was like an opening of like clouds in the general area. It looked like it was almost out of there. And they don't have to dry the track completely, obviously, because of the rain tires. So once I get back to racing, I don't think, or once the rain stops, or even lightens up, it doesn't even have to stop, but if it just lightens up, it'll be alright. Rain continuing through 2. Oh my goodness. I'll pull up the radar for you guys on my phone here. Hopefully you can see with where the camera's at. Oh jeez, it might be a little bit. I don't think they're getting started at 11:30 like they posted on the USA Network. This is the radar. You can see the dot around Chicago. That's right now. That is right now. That is why we're on a delay. It is much more than just a steady rain. It is a torrential downpour. That is why we are not able to race even with the rain tires. We'll have a COTA situation from a couple years ago. We don't want that. So there's that. It does look like it kind of lightens up and clear. It's expected to clear out around 2 o'clock completely. And there is no rain in the forecast after 2 o'clock today. I'm looking at the hour-by-hour forecast. 11 a.m. around right now, 93% chance of rain. 73% at noon, 78% at 1. 2 o'clock is 55%. And then anything after 3 o'clock is between 15 and 20% chance of rain. So it's a lot more likely. So the Cup Series should be fine today. The Xfinity Series, honestly, the Xfinity Series should be fine too because they only have 30 laps left. So with the Cup race not starting until 5:54 local time, if they let's say they get the Xfinity Series like resumed at 3, which is very feasible. If they get the Xfinity race resumed at 3 o'clock, then they could get 30 laps in easily before 5:54. I mean, that gives them almost 3 hours to run 30 laps. Which, if we look, 1 hour, 2 minutes, 40 seconds to get the first 25 laps in. So with just 30 to go, I mean, it should only be like another hour, 15 minutes to get the rest of the race in. So it's not going to be that long. Can they run the race at night? I don't think they can. Like, there's technically street lights, but I don't think it would light the track enough for the drivers to be able to see, especially with how many blind corners there are on the racetrack and the speeds they're going at. It's not like when you're driving, like, in those streets downtown Chicago and it's 25 miles an hour. These guys are going way faster than that, so you can't necessarily light it up, especially when you have cars without headlights. It's not like street racing where that's the case, or even in some, like, street races they would run at night, say in F1, they're purpose-built. They've been going to those specific places for a while now, and they were designed to have lights at the track. That's not the case with this street course race in Chicago this weekend, so they would not be able to race in the nighttime for that reason. Cars One Boy, thanks for tuning in. Somehow kicked myself in the balls. Well, that is interesting. I mean, that is something. I don't know if I've ever kicked myself there, but sure many boys and men in the chat have felt that pain before. Not fun. Joey Cryer, thanks for tuning in. See who else is in the chat. I don't think I've noticed anybody new that has just tuned in. We might end up having to do a little Sporcle here. I mean, I don't know if we're gonna stay live for the full 3 hours before they get this race in. That's gonna be. I do have other things to do. I'm still trying to keep track of the Patreon/Discord page, because I do have to update some stuff on there that isn't feasible. For anybody wondering what I'm talking about, I didn't put the description. I didn't put it in the description again. I meant to have that, but I literally have just the same settings I had for this stream from yesterday to today, so that way I didn't have to spend like 20 minutes setting it up. So that's why I didn't update the description. But if you check out the Patreon page, Keegan Schneider _YT, and if you do want to join the Patreon channel, there's a section on there for $10 where I'll be posting any and all picks that I have for the race weekend, for fantasy, for betting advice, to kind of help you guys out there. I sent a community tab out, I think it was Monday or Tuesday last week on the channel, and I mentioned something during the live commentary streams last weekend throughout Nashville as well. And I was planning on doing something like that if people were interested. And when I closed the poll the next day after, it wasn't even a full 24 hours I had it open. I probably should have had it open a little longer, but there were like 77 votes, and I think like 80% said that they would do it in one way or another, whether it was yes, definitely, which was like 40% of the votes, that no matter what they were going to do it, is pretty much what I got out of that. Then there was some that was yes, but I don't plan on playing fantasy, was like 20% of the votes. That was like 60%. Then there was like another 12% that said that they would do it depending on the price of it. So it was pretty much, I think there was like 12% of the votes that said like they couldn't or wouldn't like support the channel, which is fine, because I completely understand. And so I decided to start it, and essentially every week I'll be re-updating, my picks for the weekend. But because the Xfinity race hasn't finished this week, they don't have all the betting options available on the sites that I go on, which is FanDuel and BetMGM, is where I'll get like all the odds. They have you can bet on who you think will win the race, but they don't have, like, FanDuel doesn't have anything else. Like, you can't pick top 10 right now, which was available before qualifying, but they usually update it after qualifying. I think they were waiting to see how the Xfinity race was going to go, but they only got 25 laps in, so you can't really judge, like, based off of. And I think they're going to update the odds for who is going to win the race depending on, like, how the drivers that started this race are going to finish. Because as of right now, if we look at the running order for the Xfinity race, Cole Custer started on the pole. He's leading. John Hunter Nemechek, he started, I think, second. He's in second. Allgaier started top 5. He's still there. I think Austin Hill started like 5th or 6th. He's still 5th. So, like, the positions at the front of the field haven't changed much. There have been quite a few positions, though, that have changed in the back half of the field. There were drivers that started in the back half of the top 10 that have dropped out. Some that started just outside the top 10 that are in. Nobody that has started ridiculously deep in the field has made their way to the top 10 yet. The closest would be Sheldon Creed, who wrecked in qualifying and had to go to a backup car. He is up to 11th. He did cycle up like 6 or 7 positions when we had split strategy back at stage 1, or no, it would have been the start of stage 2. Just after stage 1 concluded, we had that caution for Andre Castro spinning into the turn 1 wall, and those drivers decided to come down, take a tire advantage. They would probably have to pit for fuel the rest of the race, but the top driver of those on the fresher tires would have been Miguel Paludo, and that 7-lap stretch went from 20th to 13th. So there is passing available if you could get that tire advantage. We're probably not going to see as much fall off in the Cup Series just because we haven't on the flatter tracks in the road courses this season. There hasn't been as much fall off. There's been a little bit more grip in those cars, so it might even allow for less passing in the Cup race. And drivers are going to make less mistakes, too, to create openings for that because they're in the Cup Series. They know these cars. Maybe some of the younger drivers that haven't been in the Cup cars as much or don't have as good of road racing experience might, but those guys are probably already starting at the back anyway, so it's not like they're going to be starting up towards the front, other than like those 2 road ringers that are up there. Gisbergen starting 3rd, and then hopefully I said his name correctly. I haven't heard his name pronounced correctly, I don't think, before, so winging that, but he's starting 3rd. And we'll actually take a look at the starting lineup for the Cup race while we have nothing else to do anyway, so it'll be easier to describe for you guys. So I guess you get kind of an extra long pre-race for the Cup Series with this right now. Yeah, that, and then Jensen Button, yeah, that's right. Rick Ware Racing 15 car, qualified 8th. I don't feel quite as confident with him just because he is starting. And I do think those guys will fall back a little bit. Now, I do think for Van Ginzburg that he's going to have a much better chance of finishing in the top 10 just because he is starting this high up in the running order. I think what helps him too is that Trackhouse Racing has been pretty good on the road courses with this next-gen car. Chastain won at COTA last year. Daniel Suarez won at Sonoma last year. Now, this season in particular, Trackhouse has struggled on the road courses. Well, Chastain finished 4th and 10th, so he's got 2 top 10s. But Suarez has finished outside the top 10 in both races. I will say Suarez picked it up this weekend. He qualified 5th, and I believe he was 11th overall in practice, if I remember correctly. He was one of my sleeper picks for this weekend for the fantasy. So, yeah, I do think that there's a better chance that he could stay up in the top 10. I don't feel as confident about Jensen Button, especially when you look at the Fords. Only 3 of them qualified inside the top 14. And then the practice times were even worse for most of them. Jensen Button was 3rd. Somehow Keselowski was 10th. I have no clue how that was the case. But then everybody else, 15th or worse. So Ford just does not look quick this weekend. They were not quick at Sonoma 2 weeks ago. Remember, the only Ford that ran top 10 pretty much all day was Chris Buescher. And I think Kevin Harvick was up there for most of the race, but he didn't get quite as good of a finish. And Michael McDowell, too. Sorry, Michael McDowell, not Harvick. Michael McDowell, and then he kind of cycled with that bad pit stop, but he got back up to 7th, I believe, is where he finished. And then Chris Buescher pretty much ran top 10 all day as well. And I think he ended up with a top 10 at the end of the race, if I remember correctly. But those were the only 2. And Buescher's nowhere to be found this weekend. He was outside the top 20 on pace pretty much all week. 15th in practice, or qualified 15th, but I think he was outside top 20 in practice. 18th. So, I mean, that's pretty. He may get the top 10 by the end of the race, but because of how hard it's going to be to pass, I wouldn't be surprised if he runs 15th to 20th the whole day either. Michael McDowell really is the only confident Ford I have of getting a top 10, and maybe he's got an outside chance to win. His odds to win the race plus 1,500. That's not a bad bet. I mean, he ran really well at Sonoma. He had one of the cars to beat at Sonoma. He ran top 3 all day, but that slow pit stop at the end pushed him back, and that's why he finished 7th. That's the only thing leery is pit road, and that will be a big, big importance this weekend. We haven't seen any live pit stops for the most part during this Xfinity race. There's quite a few teams that just haven't pitted yet. We're only 25 laps in. And it is only going to be a one-stop race for the Xfinity Series, so maybe a little bit harder to gain positions off of that, versus in the Cup race, it's going to be 100 laps, so it's going to be a 2 to 3 stop race for most teams today. Most teams are going to pit twice. There will probably be some that are going to try to pit 3 times if we get an early enough caution just to see what the tire fall off is like. But a lot of the cars in the top half of the field are more than likely still going to stay out, kind of like we saw with the Xfinity race and that caution at lap 17 yesterday. Pick is Herbst in the 98. That's a bold pick. Creed is fast. Yeah, I picked Sheldon Creed to win. If I would have known he was starting at the back, I probably wouldn't have done that. Would have went with Custer. So that's my fault for not keeping track of that. I usually so up to date with the Cup Series and the Xfinity and trucks. I don't watch all their practice and qualifying sessions like I do with the Cup Series, so I missed on that. Because I saw he qualified second, I didn't think he wrecked like as he was finishing. Elliot is crazy. Thanks for tuning in. Good morning to you too. Jack LeBlanc, thanks for watching as well. Got a flash flood warning pinned. Yeah, I saw like the on the Weather Channel too with Chicago that they were expecting some flooding, which doesn't surprise me with the amount of rain that they've gotten over the last 24 hours and seeing how hard it was raining moments ago when they went live at 11 a.m. this morning. Sharik B, thanks for tuning in. Race is now 11:45, so they did push it back even more. Now, hopefully, I mean, if they get to racing in the rain, that would be something that would definitely create more opportunities to make major mistakes. And I think drivers are going to be even more careful in the rain than what they are in the asphalt, especially if it's as heavy as it is, because it wasn't raining that hard when they did have slight practice in the Xfinity Series in the rain yesterday. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. But we'll stay here until they get that race started, unless they schedule like a much later start time, and we'll have a couple-hour window. Then we're not going to stay live for that entire time for the Xfinity Series. If it was a Cup race, I probably would, but knowing the Cup race is still later today, and I've still got a few of those predictions to get out once the odds predictor or the odds sites update their odds, and I'll get those predictions out for you guys for top 10s, because I don't have anything for that in the Discord right now. I don't have anything for the top 10s. Got the head-to-heads on the one site. Usually they do the same head-to-heads, but sometimes they are slightly different. So if FanDuel does have anything different this weekend, I'll get on that as well. But they usually have some other stuff too every week. Like sometimes they have over/under cautions. They don't really have that most of the time this year, I've noticed. But a lot of them, like they'll have like driver to win starting outside the top 10 versus in the top 10, which there's a good chance they might not have that this week because of how predictable it's going to be for them to finish in the top 10. Because I wouldn't bet against it, especially if the driver's starting in the top 10. Toyota's won the first 2 road races this year. Reddick has won one of them. He's won 3 of the last 7. Christopher Bell won at the Roval last year. So that's another Toyota who won a road course with the next gen and one of the last 3 races. Daniel Suarez, like I mentioned, sleeper pick. He won on a road course last year. Denny Hamlin, I don't know what to think about Denny Hamlin this weekend. Coming into the weekend, I wouldn't have expected him to do very well, but he qualified on the pole, and he was second overall in practice. I don't know how he performed as well as he did, but he did. We don't think of him as running very well on the road courses, at least competing for wins. Like, he'll be like a consistent like 6th to 10th place guy, but maybe he's got a chance to win his first career road course race this weekend. It could be possible. Oh, my bad. He does have a win at Watkins Glen, by the way. I didn't mean first career road course win. First with the next gen, for sure, but first in a long time, also. I mean, he's a guy you can maybe rely on to finish in the back half of the top 10, but he doesn't really compete for wins on these tracks, and he does make mistakes on these kinds of tracks as well. Kyle Larson starts in the top 10 too. AJ Allmendinger starts in the top 10. The only drivers outside the top 10 that I can potentially see winning is Truex, because he's had the speed this year. That's it. I mean, he's like the only guy outside the top 10. Gibbs is in a Toyota, yes. But starting 12th, and even starting 11th, I mean, it's so far back. Like, they're going to need quite a few cautions. Like that, they're going to need quite a few cautions to try to gain track position with more pit stops potentially, and restarts are going to be the biggest opportunity to make passes, obviously, also. Chase Elliott starts 26th, and I just don't think you could start that deep in the field and win. Like, I'm a little leery on Truex starting 11th, starting that deep and winning. I think he's like the second favorite on the betting sites. I don't like that. It's hard for me to think outside the box when I make like race win picks. For sleeper picks, okay, to get a top 10 from time to time, I'll do it. But if I have to predict somebody to win, and that's part of why I have predicted 6 winners this year, is because I'm just going based off of what we saw last year and what we've seen already this year with the next gen car. Like, I'm not predicting my guy Ryan Blaney to win every week because he's only won one race with the next gen car, and it was a few weeks ago. And even that race, I didn't predict him to win. You know, I would have predicted him to maybe run top 10 all day because he's done that a lot, the next-gen car, so that's proven, but to get the win. And that was the same thing with Truex up until recently, you know, as well. Now he's starting to get the wins with this car, and I'm considering as a threat to win most weeks. You know, he'd probably be one of my top 5 picks to win this week, as I just kind of mentioned. It's just he starts a little deeper in the field, so I don't feel as confident with him as I do with, say, Reddick or Bell. I think those are definitely the 2 favorites to win the race today. In my eyes, I think they have Bell at like plus 1,100 to win on FanDuel. Like, they really don't think Bell's good. I think he's like the 6th or 7th favorite to win the race, which I was shocked. Like, he's probably my 2nd favorite to win the race today. But they had Hamlin up there, probably because Custer's led every lap from the polls so far, so that probably factors in. Shane Van was fastest in practice, so I'm sure they factor that in as well. But it's like, why is Truex ahead of him when he starts 11th? Why is AJ Allmendinger ahead of him when he starts 10th? Now, I can see that maybe on other road courses, but this track in particular, where we didn't see a lot of passing in the top 5 yesterday in the Xfinity race. Back half of the top 10, we were seeing drivers that, you know, were fading and couldn't hang on, but those guys at the front of the field, they're fast for a reason on a week-to-week basis, so that's going to be tough. Mark Witkowski, thanks for tuning in also. Pick is the 7 and the 21. I'm assuming you're talking about the Xfinity race. Corey LaJoie surprised in practice yesterday, by the way. He was top 10, I believe. Now, he didn't qualify well, so that kind of dinged him a little bit for me picking him as a potential sleeper. But in practice yesterday, he was 7th overall. And if you look at the lap averages from Corey LaJoie, I don't like looking at the overall lap average because it kind of counts their into pit road laps too, so I'd go with the 5-lap average. He didn't have long run pace. He set one really quick lap out of seemingly nowhere, and he didn't have as much. Well, I guess he did. Yeah, I might have been thinking about the 10-lap average. You look at the 10-lap average, and he's like 3 seconds behind Hamlin. But the 5-lap average, he was 2nd. So on the short runs, LaJoie's looking good, but I think he kind of burnt his equipment up after that because if you look at his 10-lap average, he was outside the top 15. So he dropped back quite a bit there. And a Toyota, 1, 2, 3. The Toyotas, they've been proven very good on these road courses. If you look at who has won the last 7 road course races in the NASCAR Cup Series, you got Mark Truex Jr., Toyota, Sonoma this year. Tyler Reddick, Coda, Toyota this year. Christopher Bell, Toyota at the Roval last year. Who won the race before that? Watkins Glen, Kyle Larson. Okay, so that's a Chevy. Before that, Indianapolis, Tyler Reddick. I know it was a Chevy, but now he's in a Toyota, so I feel like that kind of helps Toyota, you would think, as good of a road course racer as he is, especially with this next-gen car. Reddick also won at Road America last year. So that is the last 6 races for the Cup Series on road courses. 3 of them have been won by Reddick, 1 by Bell, 1 by Truex. Of the last 7. And then 1 by Larson randomly. And Larson, because he has that win at Watkins Glen, he has won at Sonoma 2021 on a road course too. So he's won on a road course twice now. And he does start top 10. I think he qualified 6th, was 7th fastest in practice. It might be the other way around. One or the other. 6th and 7th in both. 5-lap average. He was 3rd fastest in 5-lap average, and he didn't make a 10-lap consecutive run. He would have been fastest of the 5-lap average guys that didn't make a 10-lap average run. So he's got a fast car this weekend, and because it's a track that, we haven't seen in NASCAR, and it's not only a track we haven't seen, but a style of racing we haven't seen in NASCAR, the better drivers will rise to the occasions. And that is why you see Kyle Larson running as well as he is. You're going to see the drivers with this kind of road racing experience at the top And then the next best will be drivers that are just that damn good in a race car. And that's why Kyle Larson is 7th. I mean, that is exactly why. There's no doubting that. I'm surprised Kyle Busch wasn't up there. He was probably the most disappointing, I think, yesterday. I wanted to put him, coming into the week, I would have said Kyle Busch was a top 5 favorite to win the race, I think, coming into this week. He finished 2nd in both road course races this year. The 8 car won 2 road races with Tyler Reddick last year. So automatically, and he finished in his last 3 road races top 3, because Kyle Busch, even in Toyota with Joe Gibbs Racing last year, finished 3rd at the Roval, and he was garbage in the playoffs, but he finished 3rd at the Roval. So, I mean, I would have thought, based off of those stats that I do coming into the week, Kyle Busch was going to be probably a top 5 favorite to win. But now that he was outside the top 15 to practice and qualifying yesterday, his 10-lap average speed was top 10. I think he was 7th fastest in 10-lap average, if I remember correctly. So he might have the long run pace to get up in the top 10. But it was too risky for me to say he's a must-have this weekend, like I would have had him chalked up as coming into the week. And that's why I always wait till after practice and qualifying to make my bets, make my picks. Because I might have said Tyler Reddick, Kyle Busch were probably going to be the 2 favorites coming into the week. Tyler Reddick, based off of what we saw on track yesterday, has proven that for me. And Kyle Busch proved the opposite. Sorry for any Kyle Busch fans out there, but I got to be honest. Cup race number 8, 17-22. Yeah, I don't know about Busch. He starts too far back. And Logano, Fords in general have struggled on the road courses, which I'm surprised because last year they had good runs on road courses. I think Blaney was kind of consistently top 10. Logano was consistently top 10 on the road races. They weren't like up there competing for wins, but they were consistently in the top 10. And this year they had not been on the road courses. Chris Buescher is the only driver. Chris Buescher, Michael McDowell, the only 2 drivers that ran top 10 for most of the road races last year and this year. Austin Cindric's another one who ran well on road courses last year, and this year they haven't. Penske as a whole has taken a huge step back in the road course program this year. When you have a talented driver like Cindric on a road course, and he qualifies 30th for this race today, like that's just not right. Blaney 17th. You know, he won on a road course before. He seems to not necessarily contend for wins on road courses a lot, kind of similar to a Denny Hamlin where he's won on a road course before. It was a long time ago, but you know, now you could pretty much bank on him running 6th to 10th on the road races, which isn't bad at all. But I wouldn't say that for Blaney this weekend. How many road courses left this year? For the Cup Series, they run at Indy in August, Watkins Glen the week after that. So they back-to-back, Indy, Watkins Glen, and then the Roval in the playoffs. So just 3 left there. The Xfinity Series has 4 left because they race at Road America in 2 weeks. And then the Truck Series has Mid-Ohio next week. Where else do the trucks race? They don't race at the Glen. They don't race at Indy. And then they don't race at the Roval. So I think Mid-Ohio is the last road course for the Truck Series. They only had 2 on the schedule anyway. They had that in Coda. It's their second one.
We saw a lot of racing yesterday.
Looks like drivers are getting strapped into their cars, so let's listen in.
For the Cup Series to take the streets of Chicago, and who better than the star of Chicago PD on NBC to tell us about those streets than Jason McGay.
These streets in this city. Take a listen. What do you hear? The sounds of a game, right? But also the legacy of an icon. It's been almost 25 years since MJ's last game here, but you can still feel what he meant to this town. Proving yourself as the greatest of all time will earn you that kind of staying power. Of course, there are plenty of other paths to our hearts, like breaking a century-old curse, revealing pure grit on ice, or shuffling your way into history. They're all part of forever here, all a part of the streets these guys are about to take over. They know a thing or two about living on the edge, thriving in traffic, and embracing chaos. Which is a real good thing, considering they've never raced on a course quite like this. Never taken over a city, turned it into a playground for speed. It's Chicago. Listen to what that's gonna sound like today at the Grant Park 220, right downtown.
It's so fun to hear Jason Begay there with Detective Hank Voigt on Chicago PD, talking us through the streets of Chicago here. You see the umbrellas, the rain, that's not an issue. It was the lightning from earlier, but the teams are getting ready, and you see the current running order on the left side of your screen. Cole Custer's been out front every lap. The 25 laps that we're able to get in yesterday, he was not passed by anyone. He made that car very wide here on the streets of Chicago. As a matter of fact, let's go back and take a peek at how those 25 laps were completed here.
Well, you mentioned Cole Custer led all 25 laps. He did that by earning the pole earlier in the day. Had a nice, clean, original start. Everybody, I won't say tiptoe, but they took care of each other through turn one, but then early issues for Justin Marks.
Yeah, Justin Marks has a car and won the Cup race last weekend. Had a very fast car in the Xfinity Series, but unfortunately ended in engine failure. Spins out on his own oil.
Cole Custer will come through and win stage one. As you mentioned, Steve leading every lap so far. Castro with some issues, possible brake issues, getting down into turn one hard into that tire barrier.
Yeah, thank goodness the tire barrier there. Definitely a bad angle on the restart once again. Cole Custer clean into one. John Hunter Nemechek in that purple number 20 had a little bit of contest with the 7 of Allgaier, but in the end he settled right into second.
And then unfortunately, yellow flag, lightning, brought all the cars down pit road. That is why we're coming back today.
And you see the jet dryers, the Air Titans working their way around the streets of Chicago here, trying to get rid of the puddles.
Oh my
Obviously,
goodness.
That's an issue. It'd be difficult to get a car to go through there.
It's not a puddle. That's a
Lightning obviously can halt.
That's a
race,
flash flood.
but
That is a
there's
flood.
tires as wet equipment on these cars. So they have the treaded tires. We saw that at the start of practice. They can run on a wet surface. Really, it comes down to visibility. So how hard is it raining? Even at a windshield wiper, as you can imagine, 140 miles an hour doesn't
It just
work
looks dark there.
super efficiently. And this right here, standing water. There can only be a certain amount of standing water. Hopefully none. There could be some, Jeff, if it's way offline, somewhere we didn't think the cars would ever get. But if it really impedes the racing line, that also would force the race to either be put under caution or red flag.
I think back though to I think back to Coda with the Xfinity Series, and there being lots of standing water on that racetrack as well. So I know we've pushed the limits of extreme conditions before, and it was quite similar to that particular day where we had the Xfinity guys out there, driving in some pretty bad situations.
I think he's thinking about the
They made
Louisville
best of that.
Xfinity Series, not Cup, or Cup at Coda.
I would
and
say
then-
the first time we pushed it was at the Roval.
Yes.
With that rain, especially up on the banking of Charlotte Motor Speedway, it was raining maybe even harder than this. And they put them out there. That was a bit too much for sure. Push the limits a little bit. And that's what NASCAR ultimately has got to decide. And maybe look at it and say, hey, let's get the drivers in the cars and get them out there and let them, this series has more experience of racing in the rain than the Cup Series does. They've been doing it longer. And maybe put the drivers out there on the track, have them look at it, get their opinion before they decide whether to go green or not.
And if we see a green flag, Rick, I'm going to remind both my drivers right here, both Dale and Jeff. Those are great examples, but you know what's different here? No runoff, no space, barriers on both sides. So, it's going to be very challenging to manage, but you're going to have to manage your expectation, your speed, your pace around the other cars. If it runs in the rain, I think Custer, Nemechek, the guys up front, are going to make it look relatively straightforward. But from third on back, it turns into a little bit of a case of survival, which can be entertaining, right, to watch the field itself navigate these conditions.
Is it more difficult for Cole Custer and John Hunter Nemechek because they're out there in front to push it maybe a little bit further, or is it simpler for a guy who's running second, third, or fourth to say, hey, I know how fast you're going, I feel comfortable here, I can try to make it more difficult for you by pushing you?
I think what I'd be worried about is what's sliding up from behind me.
Yeah.
Right. I know that I'm going to drive the car to what I think it can handle. These rain tires are really great actually, in terms of grip, and they have a relatively soft compound. They do a good job of getting the water out of the way and letting the car do its work. But I'd be worried about somebody coming from behind me that can't slow down, that can't stop,
and getting into the back of me, creating some problems, sending us both into the fence. That would probably be what pushed me into making a mistake more than me just trying to go faster and faster and be more and more competitive.
Yeah, and I think also, remember, we're racing on city streets. Like, all the experience we have, these drivers have racing, have been on purpose-built racetracks. And a street course probably has more oil, more debris, more of those types of things on it from regular automotive traffic and issues than a racetrack does. So they don't understand the amount of grip at this racetrack versus others. So from customer standpoint, Nemechek's standpoint, you don't want to be the first guy to drive in the wall, but at the same time, like Junior said, the guy coming from behind you can go by you. The further back you go, though, the worse you can see. It becomes a disadvantage to be in the back because your visibility goes down so much. This also, let's talk about this. If we do go green, this new restart zone that was put in here, where you restart before turn 12 in an effort to prevent the chaos that we saw in Indy last year, we saw at Coda into turn 1, where everybody's just slamming into each other. That's going to separate the field. So that's going to provide a little bit of relief and a little bit of time to gauge the track, more so than if we had not have moved that restart zone.
Well, and NASCAR has the right to go to single file restarts, and it would shock me. I would be the vote for. let's do it single
the
file.
drivers are voting
we could
for
do
that
it double
too.
file later, but I think for this first one, I think a single file restart seems to be reasonable. As I looked at this shot right here, you can look right over that white line in the steering wheel, some water dripping down. You know, these cars are better and better at being kind of sealed up to the weather. You see the radio down here. It's actually on the right side, unlike it being on the left side. It's over on the right side for that reason, so the water doesn't get on it.
Jeff, you referenced the Roval back in 2020. Let's visit that again and what it was like. Again, it's experience. They've done it before, but some crazy conditions. This is on the banking.
This race right here scared me and also opened my eyes all at the same time. We just saw that shot of 3 drivers running through the banking. They were racing hard right there, and they all made it work. And I was like, hey, maybe we can race in the rain. But then there were some other situations like this that it was just so much standing water. The drivers just didn't have much of a chance to avoid some of these problems.
Hydroplaning such a big issue, and we hear that all the time with people who drive in the rain. Same thing for a race car. When you take it up at speeds, it would go across the top of the water as opposed to be able to disperse that water out of the way. But they're telling us now that the drivers are in the cars. We're going to see if they can get out on track. Obviously, we have seen the jet dryers and the Air Titans out there trying to move that standing water. We look at the playoff standings, and Austin Hill and John Hunter Nemechek both with multiple wins already this year.
And you have to ask yourself, we can talk about history being made about running on the streets and all of that, but for these competitors, this is what matters. This is just another race in the regular season. They're trying to get into the playoffs. So those 7 names in yellow have won. They know they're probably heading that direction. Barry, Mayer, Creed, they got to be feeling okay about the points. But what about a Parker Kligerman? We saw him at the hotel today. And while everybody else was kind of looking out the window with a little doom and gloom, he popped right down the steps, umbrella in hand. Can't wait. Hope we go racing in the rain. This is my chance. And I think that's what really should be. Moffitt in 14th is having a great day. He's currently 4th. Where does he stand? Or Jones or Ryan, or who else, not even in the top 16, that can pop through with a win?
Yeah, I think Kligerman, looking at the schedule with multiple road course races right in front of him, this is a great opportunity for him to try to point his way into that top 12, and he's in great position today to continue to have success on the racetrack. While Hemrick was struggling yesterday with pace in his car, having a hard time holding up a lot of cars, and he's trying to maintain as good a track position as he can and just survive. I think that cut line 12 points battle is going to be fun to watch over the next several weeks. Here's the schedule. We're going to Atlanta next week. That's going to be a blast for us at NBC. We've not called a race at that racetrack. I love Atlanta. I can't wait to go there and get an opportunity to talk about the action we're going to see.
Yeah, more of a drafting, kind of pack racing that you see now at the reconfigured Atlanta. We mentioned other road courses that are in front of us. Road America, the Indy Road Course, Watkins Glen, all road course races. And the history of the Xfinity Series, 9 times before, they've raced in the rain. So there is experience of these cars and drivers that have been out on race courses that have been covered with or have had rain in the area. So the drivers are in the cars. We're waiting for the command for them to fire the engines back up. Again, jet dryers and air titans moving the puddles off of the course right now.
Well, there you heard it. Once again, drivers are in their cars. Eating a granola bar. I was almost done. I had like 2 bites left. Couldn't stay alive for 30 more seconds. No passing whatsoever. Demolition Derby. Is that what you're predicting? We haven't had that up to this point. I will say, through the first 25 laps. At the front of the field, on the other hand, yeah, there hasn't been a lot of passing inside the top 5, specifically the top 3. I don't think have changed pretty much this whole race for the most part. But, I mean, I don't think the racing's been terrible by any means. Up to this point. We'll see what the rain will bring. It's definitely going to be a lot of tiptoeing. I'm sure they'll run a handful of caution laps, trying to dictate whether or not it's a safe thing for them to race once they do get the cars started and get them out on the racetrack. And remember, there's only 30 laps to go, so there's not too many more laps left. Depending on how many laps we get under this caution period before we get back to racing, I can see there being 25 or less laps to go when we get back to green flag racing. I mean, we're probably only going to have time for there to be a couple cautions, really, the rest of this race. If we were to see any incidents, which hopefully we don't. Leroy, though, thanks for tuning in. Lemony Tang, thanks for tuning in also. Why can't they make it easy for us like IMSA? Think it'll be called a halfway. Yeah, could you imagine if they run like 5 laps and then they bring the cars in the pits? Wasn't there an F1 race where they ran like 2 laps under caution at the start of the race or whatever to make it official instead of running the full race the next day or something? That's all they did. Could you imagine paying... And F1 tickets are expensive. Could you imagine paying like hundreds of dollars for a ticket to go to a race, and that's all you see, and they'll be like, well, at least you got to see the F2 race the day before, and you got to see, qualifying and all the practice sessions. Like, yeah, but we came for the race. Like, the race is the main draw. And you run like a lap and a half under caution and call it. Give everybody half points. I can't remember what race, Spa 2020. Okay, so somebody knew I was talking about. I remember hearing of that. I don't really watch Formula 1 too much. I've only ever watched like 3 or 4 Formula 1 races. I haven't watched any last couple seasons. Yeah, hopefully we don't have that. There might have been an IndyCar race a long time ago, too, where I think they ran like 15 laps under caution or something like that to get to halfway so they can make it official, even though they weren't technically there yet. Hopefully we don't see something like that happen here also.
When it was built, the tallest skyscraper in the world, the beam, so famous.
Play the broadcast again until we get back to racing or get the next commercial.
North side of Grant Park.
Whatever happens first.
Found right by where our Peacock pit box is located. A race down to Sable Lake Shore Drive, one of the more famous roads in Chicago. You got the Field Museum, the Shedd Aquarium, Adler Planetarium, and Soldier Field, all just to the south of Grant Park. And so many opportunities for people that are visiting Chicago to enjoy and take in all of the culture of this city. You guys have been here since Wednesday, I believe, so you've been able to experience a little more of Chicago.
Well, so we've talked about this, as beautiful as the lake is in the park and where we are. The river, Chicago River through downtown is really it for me. Every city kind of has that signature, and they all have a feel. That one is the one that makes Chicago unique for me. I'm a Boston guy. It's kind of on the water. New York's kind of on the water, but neither of those have this defining river that is kind of like centrally located. They dye it green for St. Patty's Day. Like, there's just so much that I have seen and so many famous shots around that river. That's kind of what reminds me that we're in Chicago. And we've taken a few trips on the other side of the river. A lot of restaurants up there, Rick. I've kind of worked my way through the food tour of Chicago.
Cuisine's very good.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is we've been very fortunate to eat in some great restaurants. Could go to some really fun, welcoming bars. Like just a social, we had a really good time, just hanging out. And this city is known for its food, and we've tried to get a lot of them checked out.
You sampled quite a few of them.
Yeah, it's just been fun.
options.
The food has been great.
I mean, listen, if you don't do your research, what kind of broadcasters are we?
That's true. You mentioned food. There's so many options here in Chicago. Probably best known for the old deep dish pizza, and we have taken that in at a few different places throughout Chicago. But the Chicago dog, unique in the ingredients that go on top of that, with so many fine establishments, especially right around here in the Grant Park area that we've been able to visit.
I'm disappointed. I haven't had any pizza or hot dogs since I've been here, and I feel like I've missed out. So,
what are you doing?
Whose fault would that be?
well, mine, my own. But I did go to the Field Museum. That's my favorite
Yeah.
one. I've been to Chicago many times. Fortunately, as we've raced here before, and me and Amy went to the Field Museum and saw Sue, the big T-Rex they have, and walked through that. A lot of fun.
Dale, you
All
mean
the
to tell me
museums
Dale
up there are
Jr.'s
pretty
been to
fascinating,
Chicago
but,
for
that
5
was
days
really
and hasn't
impressive.
had a
Also,
single hot
product
dog or
that,
deep dish
they
pizza?
give- you
What
can
is
buy
wrong
like
with him?
a fake tooth.
Yeah.
Take it home, sort of.
Do you know it's a fake tooth, or could
Yes.
it be
Oh,
an
it's
actual tooth?
Price point.
Price point, I think, is what the cost of it led me to believe that I was not buying the real thing, and I still have it. I have it at home in my office. But that's just so fascinating to stand next to it, and just have that opportunity. And only that happens at the Field Museum.
Saw a little bit of the art there. One of the indigenous folks of Chicago on the horse there. That statue is called Bowman, and then on the opposite side, that's right around turn 9, there's Bowman, and then on the opposite side of turn 9 is Spearman. And so we read about the artist didn't put the bow in Bowman's hands so that you would imagine it, so your imagination would go to work, and that is Spearman, so again, not the spear in the hands there. But great art all the way around Chicago as well.
Yeah, they are right there at Congress Loop where I am stationed, so I actually get to see them as I'm on my perch outside that we'll do later today. I actually look right on top of right towards them, and they are beautiful, and it's amazing how big they are. They go flying right by them. Here they are. They're on the driver's left when they go by them.
Drivers able to, I guess, take part in some of the great festivities here in Chicago. And 3 of the drivers, John Hunter Nemechek, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and Harrison Burton, all were able to go out to the Cubs. John Hunter Nemechek threw out the first pitch, and then the 7th inning stretch, the 3 of them were able to lead the crowd and take me out to the ball game.
2, 3. Take
me out to the ball game. Take me out with the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I'll ever get back for it. Root for the Cubbies. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
Let's get some runs.
It's so much fun. Did Harrison talk about maybe a little nervous singing in front of a crowd?
He said he was really nervous, and he got more nervous when he looked to his right, and those guys had their microphone down there by their knees. He's like, I felt like I was the only one singing. I will say, it's amazing how many things drivers have done around this city, not just this week, but leading up to it. Children's hospitals, Boys and Girls Club, delivering bikes. It has been, we went to an event Wednesday night for those that are struggling to have food. It has been a great job by the city of Chicago and NASCAR working together to leave a lasting impression of NASCAR here in a positive way. And it's been fun to watch our drivers give back to this community. And I'm proud of all the drivers. I'm proud of NASCAR and Chicago all working so well together to have a positive impact on this city.
Well, you mentioned the drivers being able to take part in different things. Bubba Wallace had his own block party. That was on Wednesday evening at the DeSable Black History Museum in Edgewood.
Just a quick question. I don't know how many people that are watching that are actually at the track are wondering if any of this happened. Did they actually still have the concerts at the racetrack last night afterwards, even though they had the lightning and the rain and stuff? I'm curious. Because that was a part of the ticket, too. So not only, we were talking about how expensive the tickets are for this weekend, but it included for the concert both days. If they ended up not being able to have the concert and only 30 laps of an Xfinity race, that was kind of a blow for at least Saturday's edition of the tickets. A little curious on that. Yeah, just don't go to the south side. Chicago is a beautiful city. I've been through it a couple times. And as somebody that goes to Detroit, not as consistent as probably before COVID, not for any particular reason, just because I was younger, had more free time. Now I've got the YouTube channel and work on the side, so it's a little harder to get up to Detroit Tigers games a lot. But I go to a couple games every year still. Detroit's beautiful around where the stadiums are at. Around where this racetrack's at, I'm sure is very beautiful. When you go into the nice, well-kept parts of the city, they're not dangerous. That's not where all the crimes and stuff end up taking place. So, I feel for that reason and for the statistics that are in the media landscape of, the crime rates in Detroit, Chicago. Again, as somebody that's been to Detroit a bunch, I love going to Detroit for games. It's something, I've grown up doing. I do more now in my early adult life. So, it's safe up there. It's not like I'm at risk of getting robbed walking out of a Detroit Tigers game, walking back to my car. That doesn't happen. Maybe if I was parked in a shady area, but there's not really. Oh my gosh, what am I doing here? I don't know what I did. Okay, we're good. I don't know what that was. That was something. I don't know what I was doing with the screen there for a second. I got lost. Exactly, yeah. All cities have their good parts and their bad parts. There's been a lot of stuff, and some of it is probably joking. A lot of it probably is joking. Whether it's the NASCAR Twitter sphere. But there were a lot of, negative comments with NASCAR going to Chicago for the street race on the 4th of July weekend. Everybody's going to be in danger. I hope everybody that goes is going to be safe. Everybody's going to be fine, in the area that they're in. There's going to be a lot of security. There's a lot. It's well kept anyway. That's not where, the bad things happen in Chicago. It's no different than, IndyCar racing in Detroit every year. So, they're not racing. Yeah, they're not racing in Chinatown this weekend. We'd have a different story if they were racing in southern Chicago on the south side. There'd be a little bit of an uproar for that reason. But no, they don't pick that. When does yesterday's race restart? It was supposed to restart at 11 a.m. They've had some downpouring rains right now, so jet drivers have been on the track trying to get all the major puddles out of the way. There's a lot of flooding going on in certain straights of the racetrack, the more narrow portions up against the outside wall. Drivers are in their cars, so we're just kind of waiting for them to really fire the engines and get this race resumed. So it could be any minute, really. It could be a half hour from now, but definitely any moment.
2-mile road course, street course, and we tested their memory of what they learned.
Yeah, I know somebody I know at work lived there for a handful of years, lived in Chicago, and he was I was talking to him about the race there, and
What's up, guys?
he was saying that it was going to be in a really nice part of the
We'll
city.
see what I got. It's going to be interesting.
We're just gonna start right here in the middle. We'll go with the start line here because I feel like that's probably a little too long.
And then you kind of go up and around. I don't know what building this is, but there's something here.
Then they came close together somehow. Left, right. That's a little too far. I feel like that's pretty close.
Wait a second. That's not bad.
It's going to need some work.
I feel like other than my little area right here, I feel like I did pretty good.
Mine kind of looks like a long-nosed dog or something.
This track looks way better than the track I designed. So I'm glad they went with their design.
Chicago.
I think Allgaier, who's from Illinois, had a great rendition of what the street course looked like. But Parker, I'm not sure what he was trying to emulate when he was in the simulator.
Well, so now that I've seen it a couple times, I think Allgaier was just loose off from 5. A little switchback off 5, I think that's what his car is doing. I think it's a little right, left, right.
What I don't understand is they've been testing and running sim for months ever since they've heard about this race, and they still don't know the shape of the track. That's pretty terrible.
Okay, so you guys have been out on the track, Jeff Jr. Is there a favorite part of this street course that stands out for you two?
Well, I'm certainly like where I'm at down in turn 4 on my perch. I thought that would be a slower corner, a lot more braking over the concrete patches in the bridge, and a lot of tire lockup and mistakes. But it's fast. It's a fast corner. It's not a 90-degree turn. They're in the throttle just before or right at the apex, so right in front of me, I can hear them go right back to the throttle real hard, and that lets you know that they carry a ton of speed through there. And so I'm not seeing as many mistakes as I expected, and that whole horseshoe, I guess, is just this long turn through 4 and through 5. That was a big surprise to me. I really enjoy watching the cars go through your end of the track, though, Jeff. There's so many oddball technical things happening over there, and it's fun to listen to you sort of to walk us through some of the challenges they're dealing with.
Yeah, it's weird down there because you've got from 7 to 11, you've got 2 90-degree corners and then these sweepers, uphill, downhill. And for a street course, it's just crazy. There's that many things going on over there, and it's fun to watch because a car can be really good at 7 and 11 and be terrible everywhere else. And the driver's just got to find a way to get through it. And it has been a lot of fun watching it. That you're looking at the center of that loop I talked about. And imagine if you're a driver and your left side door is right against that Xfinity 10G wall, you can't see anything of what's going on in front of you. And you go uphill and then you start going downhill. And the visibility is minimal. And it's full commitment going down there because that's a sweeping corner at the end of that. So you got to be carrying tons of speed as you're running down that.
Let's take a look at the map and the route that these drivers.
I don't think they're going to be getting back to racing here, at least during this current run. If we do end up seeing cars on the track, then obviously we'll get back into the live commentary side of the stream, hence the title of these live commentary live streams. I'd like to shout out a couple other people that have just tuned in recently. Troy McDonald, Monarch Guitar, Fly Guy Only 773. Everybody, thanks for tuning in here today. Chris Davis, welcome back for another one. Sarah Irene. Wonder what song that was. The 7th inning stretch song. They sing it at pretty much every baseball game, but it's more tradition for the Chicago Cubs to usually bring in like a celebrity or some sort of a guest to sing the 7th inning stretch song. I don't know if that's what it's actually called. It's probably called Take Me Out to the Ball Game. It's probably the name of the song. But they sing it during the half inning in the 7th. It's a baseball thing. But they had Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Harrison Burton, and John Hunter Nemechek all doing that earlier in the week. Looks like drivers are hopping out of the race cars again. So they got in, and they are now getting out, and the covers are going back on the race cars, so we will not be racing anytime soon, unfortunately. The rain will clear out of there in the early to mid-afternoon, well before the start of the Cup race. Again, we will get this Xfinity race in as well as the Cup race in its entirety. It's just a matter of when, and it does not look like we're going to get back to racing anywhere near the 11 or 12 o'clock hour like we were hoping. But the rain that we looked at is going to be cleared out of there between 2 and 3 o'clock today, which would give us a couple hours in between the Xfinity and the Cup Series race. Well, while we're waiting on this, I guess we're going to go back to doing some Sporcle quizzes. We were doing these yesterday during the rain delay before they called the race, so we'll kind of pick up where we left off. You guys can play along in the chat, use you for some references, and we'll try to pick some quizzes we haven't done yet. Got a lot to pick from. Oh gosh, random Coles ad. Let's look at the quizzes. NASCAR tracks by map. 7 minutes. It's too easy. That's too easy. I kind of figured it was going to be. I did want to click on it just to see though. I wonder what the NASCAR Find the Driver is. Nah, I don't know if I want to do that. Some of these I saw yesterday. I can't find the one on here, but there was one yesterday. Oh, yeah, right here. Did they die in a racing accident? Like, that is a terrible quiz. I don't know why that's on here. That is so bad. Shout out to all the fans in the ponchos in the grandstands waiting this thing out. They'll dry up later if they stay all day for the Cup race. They're probably miserable right now, and I don't blame them. Because I would have showed up too. I'm like, oh, the race is going to be at 11? Like, you have to go. You know they can race in the rain. Like, it's a potential possibility. So if you want to go to the race, you kind of got to go. You already got your ticket. You paid a lot for it. Missing word NASCAR. Oh, my goodness. Oh, this is just names. I'm trying to find like a difficult one, but not like too difficult. NASCAR playoff drivers. 42, we got 4 minutes. 2004, since the inception of the chase. When was this last updated? 2018, okay, so. And we'll do this one first. It's a quick one. 4 minutes, so we got to go quick. We have 4 minutes to name all the drivers who have qualified for the chase or playoffs since 2004. And again, I'll be glancing back and forth in the chat. See what you guys think. So again, our first quiz, anybody that's qualified for the chase or the playoffs. But it only goes to 2018. So from 2004 to 2018. So anything in the last few years aren't going to be on here. All right, we're going to start off. We're going to name the champions first. So we're going to go with Johnson. We're going to go with Gordon, even though he didn't win in that era. Tony Stewart. Kyle Busch. Matt Kenseth. Keselowski. Logano. Truex. I mean, I guess technically Rusty Wallace would have qualified. I know he didn't win a championship in that era. Is that it for all the champions? I've got to be missing some. I don't think I have. I have to refresh the page. Chat isn't, I don't see the chat right now. That wasted a lot of time. I did not pause the timer when I did that. We'll just start throwing out names then. Ryan Newman, Greg Biffle, Carl Edwards. Why is there 2 of them with 15 on here still? Denny Hamlin. Wow, 15. He's had probably more attempts at it than almost anybody. And I did not go quick at all. Elliott Sadler's going to be on here. Jeremy Mayfield. Casey Kane. Paul Menard. I did not go quick at all. This is bad. Pressure got to me on this one. Oh, jeez. Eric Almirola. Chris Buescher. 4 minutes is not enough time to do this. For 42, I can't type that fast. Ricky Rudd. Oh, shoot, he didn't? Well, I guess, yeah, 2004. My bad. Yeah, 2004 is his first year. Jamie McMurray. Montoya. Casey Mears? No, there's no way. No chance. No chance. Should have known that. Mark Martin. David Reagan. No, okay. I was thinking he maybe got a wild card spot. Neither did Regan Smith. Stenhouse. Custer wasn't at this time. It was 2019. Blaney. Elliott. Larson. I didn't start naming drivers that are still in NASCAR today. That was a big mistake. Probably shouldn't have started with the champions. Earnhardt.
At 5 o'clock Eastern Time, and it will be simulcast on Peacock. Qualifying yesterday took place, and
I thought they had updates. I did not pause the timer again when I did that. Yeah, we missed out on like almost a minute. That was bad. That was bad. Harvick. Oh, I'm so stupid. I'm so stupid. I was panicking that whole time. We beat the average score. I should have been a lot closer. That was terrible. Oh, it did count Custer. I thought this wasn't updated. It said 2018. Well, that's not fair. If I would have known it was like, I would have started with the drivers now then. I felt like that would have been easier. I mean, I should have had Harvick on here, but that was the only former champ I forgot. But yeah, I honestly didn't think, because DiBenedetto would have been on here, Michael McDowell, Tyler Reddick. I honestly thought it was up to 2018. That was bad. That was bad. That was terrible. I got to get my brain thinking here. Okay, we got to turn that light switch on. That was terrible. Race winners 2000, NASCAR drivers 2008. All-time winners, I think that's the top. We didn't do anybody that's won a NASCAR Cup race. I remember doing this one a long time ago, but we'll do this again. We'll go Daytona 500 top 5. I do remember doing this before. And this only goes for the modern era, so that'll help us out a little bit, I would think. We don't have to get the 1959 top 5 order, because I'm sure we don't remember that. We remember the top 2, and that's it. But yeah, so from 2023, so this is updated. Top 5 from 2023, or I should say from 1972 to 2023. Top 5 in the Daytona 500. So let's reset our brains. We're gonna get this one, I think. So just start throwing out names, in the chat. And then after we get through like a bunch of names, and we'll start like looking at the running. Well, actually no. Let's go with the race winners first. I think that's going to be the strategy here. We go with the race winners. We'll go in descending order. And then whatever names we have to fill in from there, we'll go. Because that should knock out quite a few of them. So, let's start this. When everybody's ready. So, start naming Daytona 500 winner. Yeah, and we don't actually have to go in order. Let's not go in order, because then we're going to take too much time thinking about the year. Let's just start naming Daytona 500 champs. And then we'll go from there. And then if we have like gap years, we'll fill them in. So Daytona 500 champs. We're just going to get Cindric out of the... Man, this is on me to type, and I get pressured too easily. Alright, Austin Cindric. Michael McDowell. Stenhouse this year, obviously. Denny Hamlin. Kurt Busch. And Kyle Busch would have showed up on there too. 2018. I am panicking right now. Well, Logano won in 15. He's the first one that popped in my head for whatever. Austin Dillon. I don't know why I had to think about that. Earnhardt, 2014. 2013 was Jimmy Johnson. That would have been 2006 also. Jeff Gordon's got a handful of them, obviously. Few. Well, Earnhardt Sr. would have been in with Junior, so. Trevor Bayne, 2011. Matt Kenseth has 2. 2009, 2012. 2010 was McMurray. 2008 was Newman. 2007, Harvick. Ward Burton in 02. 2003, 2001 was Michael Waltrip. Darrell Waltrip would have popped up on that too. Dale Jarrett, 3-time winner. Sterling Marlin, back-to-back, 94, 95. 92 that was Allison, right? Yep. Davey Allison. Bobby Allison would have popped up on there. 1990 was Derek Cope. Got to get Richard Petty on there. Kyle Petty obviously would have showed up. Also, Dave Pearson, former winner. Kelly Yarborough. Jeff Bodine, 86. Eddie Parsons. Why am I having a brain fart with 1991 for whatever reason? No, Rusty Wallace didn't win one. Gosh, this is bad. 1991. 1991. I'm having a brain fart with 1991 Daytona 500. Yeah, we're not going to forget AJ Foyt this time. No, Tony Stewart never won a 500. Alan Kulwicki's not on that list either. Neither is Keselowski. Somebody needs to help me on the 1991 500. I appreciate no Googling the answers. Got a lot of them just by naming the winner. Jeff Bodine finished 3rd in 2002. I was just looking at that. Good for him. I know Elliott Sadler would have finished 2nd in 02. 2004, Tony Stewart finished 2nd. 2007, Mark Martin would have finished 2nd. I'm just doing this while we're waiting. Casey Mears finished 2nd in 06, 2nd in 2011. Carl Edwards. Labonte was in that at the end. So was David Gilliland. 2010, Greg Biffle finished 3rd. 2009 was tough because that got rain short, so I don't really remember the finishing order of that one very well. Same for 2003, but we got 2003 already. 2001. Marlin did finish that, I believe. Well, no, because we would have already had Marlin because he won. Baker. Gosh darn it. Why do I always forget about Buddy Baker on this list? He is a former winner. That didn't cover 1991 yet, but... Harry Gantz. No, Harry Gant's not on here. Harry Gant never finished top 5 in the Daytona 500. That's crazy. Ryan Reed's Xfinity Series, so that would be it. Oh, boy. We got to figure out the 1991 500 winner. I haven't seen it in the chat. Once I see it, I'm going to be like, oh, yeah. I haven't seen it. Sure, Nemechek is probably on here. Nope, no, he's not. Nemechek did not. 2004, who finished 3rd? Like, who was way behind Tony Stewart and Dale Jr.? We didn't name yet. Actually, hang on. 2016 was Truex. I was hoping that might have knocked a couple of them out. It did not. 2018, 2nd behind Austin Dillon. Jeez, I don't even know. I know Blaney would have been... Okay, he was 2nd, yeah, 2017, 2020, so... 4th. 2023. Behind Logano. Larson was up there, but he was in the wreck. But he's going to be on this list. Oh, Larson's not on the list. He has finished top 5. Okay. Who was not in that wreck at the end of 2023 that would have missed it? It was... There you go, Logano, who would have finished 2nd. Chase Elliott. Oh, Bill Elliott. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my. That was another winner I was missing, 85. We're still missing 1991 winner. It's the only 500 winner I don't have on here. Why am I blanking on 1991? Yeah, we got Jeff Gordon. We need the 1991 winner of the 500. Davey Allison was 92. We got that already. I knew that. Yeah, we'll get Jeremy Mayfield on here. He had some good runs in the late 90s. Yeah, 98. I thought 99 he might have been top 5. I guess not. He must have fell back at the end. He was in contention. We got the Labontes. 2001 500. Who finished 3rd? I was thinking like maybe it was Marlin if he made it out of that wreck. Who finished 3rd in the 500 in 2001? Like, we remember DEI and Earnhardt's crash, unfortunately, but who finished 3rd in that race? Like, that's a trivia question right there. And Casey Kane's going to be on here, you would think. No, Casey Kane is not on the list. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. You just got to start... Was Reed Sorensen on the list? He is. 2008, he finished 5th. Got Casey Mears already. Yeah, Scott Wimmer did have a top 5. I do remember that. 2004, he finished 3rd. My bad. I was thinking that was a different year where he had a top 5. Oh, Scott Riggs was 4th in 05. Okay. 2007. Jeez Louise. Who wasn't taken out in that wreck on the late laps? I know Kyle Busch was up there, but he was in it. Boyer flipped, but he didn't finish top 5 when he crossed the line. Like, it's just guys we haven't named yet. Like, who? Kenny Schrader did have a few of them, yeah. Who finished 3rd in 2001? Ernie Irvan, thank you. Ernie Irvan was the 1991 winner. Randy LaJoy. Corey LaJoy is probably on here. No, he's not. That 2020 race, I was thinking maybe he was top 5. 2020. Jeez, even these recent ones I can't remember. Good lord. Bubba Wallace. I don't know why I was blanking on that. Yeah, he finished 2nd in 2022 and 2018. Then that would have gotten Rusty on there. Okay, so he finished 3rd in 01. Who finished 4th in 2001? We got Marlin. DiBenedetto, maybe. No. Oh, I spelled that wrong. Hang on. DiBen. Yeah, no. DiBenedetto's not on here. He did lead the most laps in, what was it, 2020? 2019? We got Ryan Newman because we already got the winners. We don't have the Burtons yet. No, we do have the Burtons, yeah, because I put Ward Burton for 2002, so I would have gotten Jeff on there. Yeah, we got the Burtons, we got the Bodines, Schrader, Jack Sprague, maybe. Nope. It was a good guess. I mean, why not? Mike Skinner, he had some good runs. Okay, yeah, Mike Skinner, 99. He was good on the super speedways. Joe Weatherly? No, I don't think so, because this was way before his time. We actually have most of them from the 7. Actually, no, we don't. Never mind. That is a lie. Leroy Yarborough probably on here. No, he's not. Dave Marcus? No? Oh my gosh, that was before his time too. Pete Hamilton, maybe. This might be a little... Yep, nope, that ain't it. It's a little bit before the time. 92 behind Davey Allison. Coolwicky's probably... Okay, 92. He was 4th. Who finished 2nd behind Davey Allison in 92 that we haven't named yet? Oh my goodness. I tried Rudd. Rudd isn't on here. Oh, no, never mind. I thought I put him already. I guess not. AJ Allmendinger's a good one. Yep, AJ's on there. Bowman, right? Yeah, we got to start naming current guys. Bowman. I don't think Reddick's on the list. Nope. Oh, we only got 7. Man, this is tough. This is bad that I can't remember who made it out of that wreck this year in the 500. Christopher Bell finished 3rd this year. Yeah, that's tough because when you... Oh my gosh. When you have the last lap crashes in the 500, it's like, all right, who made it out of the wreck that happened to finish in the top 5? 2020, David Reagan finished 4th. Chris Buescher was 3rd behind Hamlin and Blaney, who were side by side. Like, that's all I remember is those two, and then Newman flipped and finished like 6th or 7th. Like, that's all I remember. And I thought LaJoy might have been top 5 in that one, but he was just behind him. But yeah, Buescher has 2 top 5s in the last 4 years in the 500. Good for him. Chase Briscoe finished 3rd in 2022. I was at that race. Do not remember him finishing 3rd. Almirola finished 5th also. I probably could have guessed him. He's a good super speedway racer. Clint Boyer finished 4th a couple times. Keselowski 3rd in 2014. Surprised I didn't guess his name. Almirola also 4th 2017. Paul Menard had a top 5 in 2017. Chris Buescher top 5 also in 2018. So Chris Buescher's finished top 5 in 3 of the last 6 Daytona 500s. He might be the next like guy to pull off an upset win in the 500. Chris Buescher could be, just because, you know, we've been seeing it more recently, and he does have 3 top 5s in the last 6. David Ruderman, 2010, he finished in 5th. David Reagan, which I thought I named, I guess not. He finished 5th in 2007. Kenny Irwin Jr. finished 3rd in 99 behind Gordon and Earnhardt. I don't know why I didn't remember that. I've watched that race a couple times. Ricky Craven was a good one, 97. I think somebody might have mentioned that in the chat. I'm sorry for not putting it in. Ted Musgrave finished 4th in 95. Hut Strickland, 93, finished 4th. Morgan Shepherd finished 5th in 1994. We didn't put Dick Trickle. He was 92, finished 5th. Morgan Shepherd finished 2nd behind Davey Allison. Yeah, I don't remember that. I mean, I wasn't alive at that time yet, but even seeing replays of it, I always remember Davey winning, and that was like it. And I remember the championship that season and who was involved. But, yeah, the 500 specifically, outside of Davey winning it, I don't know what happened. Joe Ruttman, 3rd in 91. Rick Mast was 4th in 91. Neil Bonnet, which I always forget on these quizzes for whatever reason. Him and Buddy Baker I seem to forget for whatever reason. Bonnet finished the 88 500 in 4th. Bobby Hillin Jr. in 86 finished 4th. Lake Speed finished 2nd behind Bill Elliott in 85. Bonnet on the list again in 84, same with Ruttman. Dick Brooks, 83, finished 5th. Bonnet, 3rd again in 80. Ron Hutcherson in 78 finished 4th. Dick Brooks, 2 more top 5, 78, 77. Bonnet again in 76. I didn't realize how long Bonnet was in NASCAR for. Lenny Pond, 76, finished 4th. Ramos Stott finished 5th. I don't think I would have ever guessed that if he gave me a million tries. He finished 1975 505th, and he finished in 3rd in 74. I did put Bobby Isaac. I spelled his name wrong. I figured he was going to be on here in the early 70s. He finished 2nd behind Petty in 73. I think I spelled it CC instead of AAC. So that was one I probably should have had. I just spelled it wrong. Dick Brooks on there again. Jim Van... I said that wrong. Jim Van Ver finished 3rd in 72. James Hilton, 5th in 72. Herschel McGriff, 5th in 73. And then Charlie Glotzback second to A.J. Foyt in 72. Well, we crushed it that time, though. I mean, we didn't get perfect, and we missed some names we probably should have gotten, but... You know, under time constraints, we only had 12 minutes to name 260 names. Got 214. 82% average score, 55%. By the way, still under heavy rain delay right now at the racetrack. Once we see the cars on track, we'll get back to the live commentary, I promise. Kyle Busch eventually going to win a 500, mark my words. I mean, with RCR, it's definitely a better chance, I think, than Gibbs. I feel like Hamlin at Gibbs just like a shoe-in to have a good run every year, but nobody else. I mean, I guess Bell finished 3rd technically this year, which I didn't know until now. Well, I forgot at least. I probably knew it the week of the 500. A few weeks after, I probably forgot. Yeah, Weatherly wasn't on the list. We tried that. I didn't try Jimmy Spencer, but he was not on the list, which I'm surprised because he did have a win at Talladega. A couple of them. Actually, one win at Talladega. He's got 2 career Cup wins, though. Didn't even know Ramos Stott was a driver. I've heard the name. It's Stott, not Scott. Ramos Stott. Ever read NHL free agency? What? No, not really. I haven't even paid attention with like most of the NFL stuff. I usually, right before the start of the season when I'm looking at stuff for fantasy football drafts, and I'm like, oh, that player plays here now. Okay. Outside of Aaron Rodgers, I couldn't tell you who's jumped ship to anywhere else. And I only know that because I'm a Packers fan. I probably would have heard about it with how big the news was, I'm sure. All right, we'll find another quiz while we're waiting here. Glad to see Dale Jarrett. Oh, that was yesterday. I was going to say, I'm glad to see that Marty Snyder, Dale Jarrett, and Brett Doherty are staying dry. I did win leaders by season before. We didn't do Cup Series race winners. We did Xfinity. We'll do Truck, and then we'll do Cup. And I think that'll be our last 2 quizzes for right now. So we'll should we do trucks first and then finish with the Cup, just because the Cup's going to be the longer one? I think that's what we should do. Find the search bar. There it is. NASCAR truck all time. winners. So we did the Xfinity Series all-time win list yesterday. We're going to do the Truck Series. Oh, yeah, I didn't even think about, like, polls, too. That would be hard. That would actually be harder than wins because, like, a lot of drivers might have qualified on the poll but never won. So this is more than likely up to date. It says last updated in 2020. So this might not be up to date, but we have 20 minutes. And it's anybody who has ever won a NASCAR truck race. 122. 20 minutes. We'll see. We'll definitely beat the average, I think. Average score, though, might be pretty high with how much time they give you. We'll see. So, again, all-time Truck Series winners. And I think we got to start off naming some Truck Series champs. So we'll go Ron Hornaday. It's only been around since 95, so Todd Bodine. Going to be on that list. Johnny Benson, former champ. Christopher Bell. Byron win a truck title? No, he didn't. He didn't win that truck title that year. That's right. Obviously, Kyle Busch. He would have never won a title, but he's the all-time winner. Yeah, Truck Series is tough. Sheldon Creed. Austin Hill. Zane Smith last year. Greg Biffle, obviously. Mike Skinner. Biffle, former champ. Jack Sprague, former champ. Matt Crafton, obviously, 3-time champ. Ben Rhodes, champ. Chase Elliott did have a win, yes. It wasn't Montreal, but it was Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. It was Canada, but yeah. Who did he wreck on the last lap to get the win in that one? Anybody remember? Yeah, Jeff Green not on the list, by the way. Did we get all the champions? We may have. I think we did. I think we got all the champions. There isn't that many. Rick Crawford, yeah, never mind. Hang on. Oh, the Dillons, yeah, both the Dillons. Ty and Austin, former champs. Yeah, I'm not thinking of like current Cup guys that have won a truck title for whatever reason. I think we just get into naming names now. I think we got enough because we'll start naming names even if I forgot they won a title. Alright, so yeah, let's go with current truck drivers first. Freddie Mercury. Alright, we'll go with current truck drivers first. So we'll get Hocevar. Gustine, right? No. Didn't he win at Talladega, or am I thinking of somebody else? Spencer Boyd won at Talladega. Anybody remember that? Somebody was saying Nemechek. Let's get him on there real quick. We can go current drivers in any series. We'll quicken this up. Current drivers for any series. Harvick. Got Chase Briscoe. Almirola won at Daytona once. Just thinking SHR. Custer. New Hampshire. Cindric ever win one? I don't know. Okay, he did win one. Blaney has some. Logano. Won at Dirt Bristol this year. Truex had that win at Dirt Bristol as well. The year before. James Buescher is another champ I forgot. James Buescher. I don't know about Tony Stewart. I don't think he ever... Oh, he did. Okay, Tony Stewart won 2. It's worth a try. Clint Boyer's got 3. Any names I see in the chat, I'll put in there also. Ty Majeski, yes, he does have some wins. Yep, we got Zane Smith. I not put Chase Elliott in here yet? No, I didn't. Kyle Larson. William Byron. Okay, Michael McDowell's not on the list. I didn't think so. Matt DiBenedetto. Talladega last year. Kaz Grala. Good one. I just put Timothy Peters on there because it just popped in my head. Scott Lagacy ever win one? I might be spelling his name wrong. Let me Google it real quick. Scott Lagacy. What was that? SSE? Yeah. Okay, so he's not on there. I'm getting away from current drive. I'm just going all over the place. Eric Darnell. Just start throwing out names, you know? Let's just do that. Just start throwing out names yet. Matt Kenseth, maybe. No, Matt Kenseth is not on here. Mark Martin's definitely on here. I remember he won at Talladega. Yeah, we got Matt Crafton already. Steve Park is a good one. We got Mike Skinner. Yeah, we got Mike Skinner. Michael Waltrip is going to be on there. Daytona winner. I don't think I put Carl Edwards on here yet. There we go. David Reagan? No. Trevor Bain's not going to be on there either. Casey Kane. Earnhardt's not going to be on there, either one. Oh, Bobby Hamilton. Yeah, another champion. The injustice I do Bobby Hamilton. Deegan has not won. Gilliland, maybe. Oh, Todd Gilliland, yeah. Yeah, Todd Gilliland's on there. I was thinking David Gilliland when you said that. Try Green. Scott Riggs. Reed Sorensen. No. Stremme. No. McMurray. No. Newman. Yes. Burton. Jeb Burton, yeah. Jeb Burton's got one. Parker Kligerman. We're doing good so far. We got Sheldon Creed. Yeah, we gotta try those Road Ringers, fellows. Said. Pappas. I always think Max Pappas won, and he never did. Allmendinger? He ever win a truck race? No, he did not. I don't ever really remember him running trucks. I already did Cindric. I don't know what I was thinking there. Reddick. Didn't Hamlin ever win one? Okay, he won 2. Mike Bliss, he's going to be on here. Yeah, Sadler's a good one. Only one. Would have thought he might have had more. Ted Musgrave, another former champ. Yep. Okay, we're getting places. We're doing good on this one, guys. Stuart Friesen. Yep, that's the current driver. We missed. Just trying to think of guys at the top of the truck points this year. Johnny Sauter. He ever win a championship? I don't know if he did or not. Jay Sauter popped up, obviously, too, with that. Travis Quaffel's a good one. That's another former champ, too. I don't know about Bill Lester. I did put Eric Darnell on here, right? Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. Brendan Gaughan, yep. We got the Smiths. We do not have Chastain yet. That's a good one. We got him now. Enfinger. Yeah, we got the Bushers. We got Chris James. Chris actually never won one. We do have Casey Kane. Do not have Bubba Wallace yet. Now we do. We got Mike Wallace with that also. No, Marcus, this is way. Oh, you're saying Ambrose, my bad. Yeah, I forgot him with the road race. Oh, Ambrose hasn't won a truck race. Nope. It's a good guess, though. There's no way Montoya, I don't remember him running trucks. Kent Larson. There's probably some current drivers we're still missing on that list. Did I put Keselowski on here yet? I was going to say, I mean, he owned a team for Pete's sake, you would think. I got Bob Keselowski also with that one. Ooh, man, they were showing that replay. Chase Elliott hit, and he hit hard yesterday. Ouch. That was a hard hit. Ryan Preece. Yep, that's another current one. 2 wins. Both at Nashville, I think. Now, Ty Gibbs never ran in trucks. Tony Raines is a good one. Derek Cope ever win one? Nope. A little too late in his winning career. The Labanis. Terry and Bobby each have one. What? Dale Jarrett. Anyway, he ever? Nope. Never really ran. Gotta get Ruderman. Yep. David Ruderman. Yeah, we got Boris said. David Starr, it's another good one. 4 wins. Yeah, we gotta get... Jason Keller might be... Nope. Leffler is... Didn't Gus Dean ever win a truck? Who else was an underdog that won a truck race at Talladega recently? We got Spencer Boyd. We got Matt DiBenedetto. There was somebody else in there, too. There was a wreck on the last lap. It was a 12 truck, and I thought it was Gus Dean. But it's not popping up on here. I got Timothy Peters, Brett Moffitt, another former champ. Gosh darn it. That's the wrong thing. Yep, still in a rain delay. Joe Ruttman. Driver with 18 wins. We're missing somebody big here. Justin Allgaier is a good guess. I don't know. Nope. Got an Almirola. Phil Parsons. No, that's a good guess considering he commentates Truck Series all the time. Carlelli. How do you spell that? No. Carlelli's not on here. That's a good one. Dennis Setzer, yes. That's another former champ, too. That was the one we were missing. Stacy Compton. What about... Oh, Eric Jones. Oh, my goodness. Brandon Jones, Eric Jones just popped up in my head there. Sam Mayer. Yeah, we're still missing some current ones. Got Hill, got Creed. Brendan Poole. I don't think so. Nope. Paul Menard? No. Scott Wimmer? No. I already have that. Somebody else with 6 wins, too. Terry Cook is a good... Yes, he's got 6. Casey Atwood have one? No. I tried Carlelli already. Chad Little. No, Chad Little is not on here. Neither is Randy LaJoy. That was mainly Busch Series back in the day. Josh Berry. No, he never ran a Truck Series race, I don't think. Yeah, we got Spencer Boyd. Bickle. Good one. Rich Bickle is a good one. Stacy Compton. I didn't put that in yet. I saw it in the chat. I didn't put it in. I don't think Todd Kluver ever really ran Truck Series. It was worth a try. Danny O'Quinn Jr. He ever win one? Anybody remember him? Roush Fenway? Never went anywhere. Got Hocevar. We got the Dillons. Got Bliss. Got Hill. Yeah, we've got Hill already. I think I've named everybody. I don't think Bowman's on here. Yeah, he's not on there. I think so. Yeah, we got Jones already. Houston. I did not try Andy Houston. Good guess. Andy Houston with 3 wins, by the way. That might not have been a guess for whoever said that. Got the Labanis. Kane, Chesney, Smith, gone. Lester. Did not put Fidoa in there yet. Naming truck winners, by the way. I haven't tried Earnhardt, but I know he's not in there. Chad Chafin's a good one. I clicked the wrong. Chad Chafin is on that list. Earnhardt isn't on here. No chance. Yeah, I didn't think so. That's why I didn't even try it. PK. Oh, yes. He won a road race. 2 of them. Robert Presley. Good guess as well. I tried McMurray. Jennifer Jo Cobb never won. Jimmy Hensley's good. Yep. Yep. I tried Fellows. He did not win one. John Wood. Yep. He's got 2. Jimmy Johnson never ran trucks. Ricky Hendrick. Maybe. Okay, yes. I don't know why I was thinking he wouldn't have been on there. Christian Eckes. Oh, thank you, by the way. You know, I figure we were missing some current ones. Oh, Corey Heim. Okay, that was another current one. Noah Gragson. Oh my goodness. I just forgot about KBM other than Kyle Busch. Forgot anybody ever won there. I got Bubba Wallace already. Shane Meal. No. Shane Meal is not on there. Yeah, I got Boris Said already. Kenny Schrader, yes. 1 win. Jeremy Mayfield on this list? No. I don't think I tried him. Daniel Suarez. Yes. 3 seconds to go. Oh, Brandon Witt. I forgot. Oh, it is Carlelli. Hang on. Jeez. At least the ad came up when we were done. Yeah, I was just spelling it wrong. We forgot Justin Haley. Why don't I ever remember Justin Haley winning truck races? Oh, jeez. Dave Resendez. I don't know if I would have gotten that. Ben Kennedy, of course. Kind of runs a truck series now. Tyler Ankrum, another current driver, I forgot. Tate Fogelman was that name I was trying to think of at Talladega. Also, Rafael Lessard, another Talladega one. That was also KBM. Brian Scott on the list. Kenny Irwin Jr. Randy Tolsma. Yeah, I wouldn't have gotten that. John West Townley, forgot about him. Joey Coulter, I remember him racing. Shane Meal was on there. I spelled it wrong. I think I had EI instead of IE. Cale Gale, I remember that. Beat Kyle Busch at Homestead. I think of all tracks he got the win there. Donnie Leah, Justin Lofton, Butch Miller, Brian Reffner, Scott Speed won a truck race. Jimmy Spencer won a truck race, and then yeah, Brandon Witt's on there too. Yeah, there was some we missed of the current drivers: Justin Haley, Tyler Ankrum, and I think that's it of current drivers. John King, that's right, he did win that Daytona race. I forgot about John King. Yeah, I know. You said it. I was spelling it wrong. I was spelling it wrong, New Joji. I'm sorry. We should have got that. You got that. We did beat the average, 80%. 72 was the average score. We'll do the Cup Series next, and we'll go from there. My phone, by the way, is shut off, so I need to get it on a charger first. Try to keep you guys updated what's going on with the race. Gonna see a blank screen here for a second. I want to see. I didn't realize it was off. Xfinity Series weather delay, alright. Might be able to listen to what's going on with the race. Yeah, we'll just keep doing some quizzes, I guess. Got Cup Series up next that we're going to do. So anybody who's ever won a NASCAR Cup race, we're going to do that list next. Keep it in order from most wins and work our way down. So in the Cup Series is what you're saying? That should be the strat? I'm listening to the race in my ear now so my phone can charge, so we have that when the time comes. Thank you for staying tuned to our live commentary coverage of a race that we have not seen here. We've been live for 2 hours now, still waiting. We did get all the top winners up for the Truck Series, which is good. We didn't leave any like big names, but we did leave a couple of current, one current truck name and then one current Cup guy off the list there by accident. Oh man, they got so many WWE quizzes. I've never really tried those on here. But this is a NASCAR YouTube channel, so we're gonna stay with NASCAR. NASCAR. Let's go Cup winners. And we'll see how many we can get because we're obviously not going to get them all. There's been over 200 drivers who have ever won a NASCAR race. Yeah, they're still airing qualifying from yesterday. We had points winners in the 2000s, but we need to go all time. Might be this. 22. No, that ain't it. NASCAR winners all time. Every driver win in the history of NASCAR. 200. And nobody's gotten their first career win this year, so 2022 is the last year it looked like it was updated. So it is up to date because nobody's won a cup race this year. Oh boy, yeah, so we'll see what we can do. I'm not going to have this in my ear because that's going to mess my thinking up. Listening to the qualifying from yesterday while I'm trying to think. Oh boy, yeah, this is it's going to be something. I think we just need to shout names out. I think the best thing we can do is we go in no random order, and then when we get down to the final couple minutes, we'll see how many wins. Like we're missing somebody with like 13 wins, and we'll kind of think about it from there or something. Because we got 20 minutes, and the more we think about it, honestly, I think the more time we're gonna use up. So we're just gonna go wins. I'm gonna throw what I think obviously the top winners are, so we do get those out of the way first, and then when we get to everybody who's had probably more than 30 wins, I think we kind of stop doing that, and then we just kind of go with like random drivers. So everybody who's got 30 or more wins, I guess, is what we'll start with, and then we'll get all those out of the way. Speed type the first 50 in your head. Yeah. All right, let's go. Petty, number 1. Lee Petty showed up, obviously, with that. David Pearson, number 2. Jeff Gordon, number 3. 84. A few guys tied there. Jimmy Johnson has... oh, shoot. I think John's popped up for a name. Got a bonus one in there. Johnson's got 83. Waltrip's got 84. Yarborough. 83. 84 also for Jesus. Well, we know Jarrett's on there. Let's just go out of order here. Ned Jarrett, Dale Jarrett. Rusty Wallace has 55. Denny Hamlin's up there. Stewart, 49. Kenseth's got nearly 40. 76 is Earnhardt. And Dale Jr. would have popped up there as well. And Kevin Harvick's good. Yeah, Bobby Allison, thank you. I don't. That was so dumb of me. Harvick. And then Busch would be the 59. Which it wasn't updated this year because he is at 61 now. And I think Harvick's at 60 also. It just didn't get his last one. Yeah, because that's 2020 as his last. Scroll down the screen a little bit because we got everybody with 49 or more wins. Edwards, Earnhardt, the junior's already on there. What am I doing? Lorenzen's going to be right around 30. 26. Fireball Roberts is somewhere in that. 33. Okay, I thought he was around 30. Tim Flock's 39. Yeah, Red Byron was I figured he didn't win too many. They weren't running that many races back in the late 40s. I think the first season they only had 8 races. Yeah, Mark Martin's going to be obviously there. Joey Logano, Truex is going to be right around there with 30. Logano's at 27, I guess. 28 then after this year. He didn't get his 22 wins on there either, so yeah, he's above 30. 48, 46. Keselowski is right around there as well. Keselowski 35. Ricky Rudd's right around 23. He's got a little less than what I thought. I was thinking he was in the high 20s. Yeah, gosh darn it. Yeah, Buddy Baker. Buck Baker would have showed up on the list. 48 wins. I didn't want to scroll up yet because we already got everybody that was above the 50 win counter. We're not going to start rattling off a bunch of names yet. Yeah, Benny Parsons. "48 wins. One behind Tony Stewart that we haven't named. Don't think I've seen it in the chat. Question, anybody who has won a cup race, ever. Labonte's, yeah. But they're around 20. So are the Jeff Burton is. Oh, Bodine. Hang on. Bodine has got to be... Okay, no, never mind. He is not above 25. Jeez. Weatherly? How many does he have? He's got 25. Okay. Who else would have won a bunch of races? Yeah, we got Wallace already. We got to think old time, guys. We got to get somebody with 48 wins. There's got to be somebody who was around racing when there was a bunch of races in a season. I don't think Pete Hamilton had that many wins. Yeah, I don't ever remember him having that many. Herb Thomas, yes, thank you. He's got 48. 1956 was his last time. I was going to say, it was going to have to be somebody like really old. 44 wins. There's got to be another old name on there too. Bill Elliott, yeah, thank you. Yep, he had 44. Okay, so... Then we have 28 wins is the next highest one. 28, 25. Got the Labonte's, got Burton's. Biffle has 19, I believe. Okay, we got Allison on there. Ernie Irvin, probably not that many. Yeah. He's above 10, though. Tim Richmond, what, 15-ish? If I remember that correctly. Junior Johnson, we would have already had. The Allisons, we would have already had. When you put a last name in, it would already show up. So, if they have any relatives. Curtis Turner, yes, thank you. That is going to be another really old one. I think he had above 20 wins. Or right around there, at least. Casey Kane, just less than that. Same with Newman. Cool Wiki only had 5 wins. I'll put him on here just so we don't forget, but... Boyer has 10. He's trying to go for like guys like with basically 15 or more, but Menard's got 1. I thought I put Flock on here already. Yeah, I already did. I already got Tim Flock. He had right around 50. 28. Sterling Marlin had 10. There's probably some like current drivers or drivers who just retired that I'm not remembering for whatever reason off the top of my head right now. Schrader's on the list too. Well, we haven't put him on the list yet. Yeah, that's true. I mean, Chase Elliott's... Oh, we already have him. Kyle Larson. He's probably getting close to 20. All right. How many Larson have? 17. Not counting the 2 this year, so he's at 19 wins. Larson's 1 away from 20. Yeah, we got Edwards. White, yes. Rex White, 28. Rex Ferd, only 1. Yeah, the Rex White was good to get that above 20. We got Dale Jr. already. 25 wins is the most we have, so I'll scroll down a little bit more again. 25... 21, 20. Dang it. Joe Rutman's not on there. Yeah, we got Logano, Edwards, Biffle. Thinking of guys who have around like 18 wins. Okay. Let's, there's a lot of drivers on this. I think, I mean, we're halfway home. We've got 72, so yeah, I guess we could just start naming random names we haven't named yet. Is anybody with a win? Pascal. How do you spell that? That's a good one. Farmer? No. Yeah, we got Harvick and Stewart. Yeah, okay, we'll just go, yeah, we got Ricky Rudd. We're just going to start naming a bunch. Okay, so Jones. Parnelli. Oh, hang on. We got to get AJ Foyt on here. We were thinking of all those old names. So we got, yeah, just think. Current drivers. Eric Jones. Tyler Reddick. Okay, so it wasn't updated when Reddick won in 2022. That's okay. It's good to name him anyway. Oh, hang on. Lenny Pond. Nope. Blake Speed is going to be on there. Jeez. Yeah, I'm just going to start naming names. Naming names who won races. I'm done staying in order at this point on this quiz. And Jimmy Spencer. We were able to put Hamilton on there. Yeah, we already did. Marlin. We already put McMurray. We did not. Toya. Mears. Casey Kane already. Vickers. Bush. Bonnie's. Bodine. I think we got all the Hendrick guys. Boyer. Already put. Anybody for... Got my guy Ryan Blaney. Can't forget him. Austin Cindric, Bubba Wallace. Oh, we would already have him with Rusty. Yep, Regan Smith. Trevor Bayne. Michael McDowell. Daniel Suarez, Chastain. Okay, it didn't update that yet. It didn't update Chastain yet. It updates some of these in 2022, but not all of them. I don't know where they started because they have Cindric, but they don't have Chastain or Reddick. Christopher Bell, Cole Custer. And Priest hasn't won yet. Almirola, Chris Buescher. Stenhouse. Gotta stick with the current guys for right now. You know, we just gotta go any of them. Any and every so we don't forget. So Ricky Craven. What else are you guys saying? Hornish never won a cup race. He won an open like once or twice. Allmendinger, Justin Haley, yep, Isaac, Thompson, Marcus Ambrose. Somebody said Matthews. Yeah, just some random guy with the last name Matthews. Why not? It's worth a try. It's kind of a common last name. Briscoe might be on here. Okay, yeah, Chase Briscoe's on there. It's weird that they have some of them from recent winners. Not all. Yeah, we would have... Buckshot Jones never won. Alex Bowman, another current driver. I said I had all the Hendrick. I did not. I didn't have him or Byron. No, I had Byron already. My bad. With Red Byron. I put earlier. We're thinking of old drivers. Yeah. Dan Gurney is a good guess. I don't know. Yeah, Dan Gurney's got 5 wins. Okay. And we got Eric Jones. Boyer. Already. Didn't put Menard in yet. Would have had Kyle Petty already. Derek Cope. John Andretti. Mario Andretti would have popped up too with that. Ramos Stott, he win one? We were just talking about him. Nope. He did not. Yeah, Jeremy Mayfield. We got Fireball Roberts already. Morgan Shepherd. Fittipaldi didn't. Jack Sprague didn't win a cup race. Yeah. Johnny Benson. We've gotten Waltrip. Ruderman. Yep, Wally Dallenbach. I'm not spelling that right. I gotta pause this. I gotta pause this. I know I've spelled Wally Dallenbach in one of these quizzes before. Dallenbach. Yeah, I spelled it right. I must have put him on here already. Got Jimmy Spencer already. Oh boy. Nemechek, yeah. I thought I put Montoya in already. Yeah, I did. Got Trevor Bayne. Rankiti wouldn't have won one. Spencer. Casey Atwood never won a cup race. The jet dryer guy. It's always fun to see the ones I missed on these lists. Frankiti's not on here. What have we not gotten yet? I got Pascal already. Got Menard. I think I've put everybody that I've seen in the chat. Both AJs. Yeah, we got Foyt and Allmendinger. Gosh, we got to get the average score on this. There are a ton of names I'm obviously forgetting. Because we were just jumping all over the place there. Sadler. Okay. Here, Gant. Oh my goodness. That would have been terrible. We got Tim Richmond already. No. This is terrible. I blanked this last minute. This last minute got me. Trickle. I got it. I think I got it. I don't know if I got that one or not. That was close. I might have gotten Dick Trickle. I don't know. We got the average score. Average score is only 42%. We had 57. Yeah, we crushed it. Let's see who we missed. Neil Bonnet again. Are you kidding me? How many times am I gonna do this man his injustice? Marvin Panch was an old name that we forgot. Dick Hutcherson, Dick Rathman, Paul Goldsmith, 9 wins. So we only missed 4 drivers with more than 10 wins. So that's good. Cotton Owens, another old one. Bob Wellborn. A lot of really old names. Some of them we're not going to know. Marshall Teague, Jim Reed, Daryl Deringer. Tiny Lund is another big one we missed. Dave Marcus. Dang, I thought I put him on here already. I guess I didn't. Ralph Moody, Lloyd Dane, Charlie Glotzback, Herschel McGriff, Eddie Gray, Eddie Pagan. I forgot Ken Schrader. Somebody probably mentioned that in the chat. Oh, Austin Dillon. Oh my goodness. I knew we were missing some current ones. Austin Dillon. Johnny Beauchamp, Gwen Staley, Frank Mundy, Dick Linder, Bill Blair, Glenn Wood, Billy Wade, Ray Elder, James Hilton, Al Keller, Elmo Langley, Denny Letner, Steve Park is another big one we missed. We missed David Reagan, Marvin Porter, Tim Pistone, Jimmy Pardue, Manuel Zerbakis, Gober Sosaby. Some of these names I don't know. I'm not going to lie. Danny Weinberg, don't know who that guy is. 1951, he won a race. Art Watts, don't know who that guy is either. 1957, he won a cup race. Chuck Stevenson, 1956. John Soares, 1954. Buddy Schumann in 52. Wendell Scott, oh my goodness, should have had that. Frankie Schneider. Got the same last name as me. If I remember clicking on this guy a long time ago, I think he's from Ohio. And I was like, oh, that's just weird. Don't we have the same birthday? Oh, hang on. I gotta look this up. We got a lot of people watching too that probably want to know this. So we need to look up Frankie Schneider, NASCAR driver. So, yeah, we were born the exact same day. I knew it was something like that. I remember this guy. He has the same last name as me, and we literally share the same birthday. And he won a NASCAR Cup race. Like, that gets weird. Like, my name, it's not like my last name is like Johnson or something like common. I mean, Schneider, like, I'm sure you guys have maybe heard of some other Schneiders, but it's not like super, super common. It is weird, though. We were born on the same exact day. Look at this. He's a dirt racer, too. That's where I grew up watching. 1952. NASCAR Modified champ. And he won his only cup race. 1958 at Old Dominion Speedway. He has one pole also. It's just weird. Where is he from again? He might not be from Ohio. Where is he from? New Jersey. Okay, so he's from New Jersey. He's not from Ohio. That would have been really weird. But yeah, we have the same last name. We both love racing. Share the same name. When did he die? Wouldn't that say 2018? He had a long life. He was born in 1926. Passed November 11th, 2018. Would have been 92? Yeah, 92 years old. Good for him. Wonder where he got his pole at. Although he competed in almost all 50 states, the Bahamas, and Canada, Schneider raced most of the career in Orange County Fair, Speedway, Reading Fairgrounds, Nazareth, so a bunch of Pennsylvania tracks, it looks like. So, he raced in the Midwest a lot. Where I'm from. Old Master, that was his nickname. The Old Master. Yeah, that's just weird. That is a little odd that we share the same birthday, same last name. He won a NASCAR race. All right, back to this. Greg Sachs, we didn't get. Johnny Rutherford, we didn't get. Jim Roper, Earl Ross, Leon Sales, Shorty Rollins, Jody Ridley, Lenny Pond. Didn't I put Lenny Pond in there? Maybe it was on the last list. It might have been the last list I did it. Dick Passwater. That's a name right there. Dick Passwater, 1953. Who's this guy? He's got a funny name. We gotta look this guy up. Dick Passwater. This is the guy, 1926. Man, he lived a long time. He lived to be 96. Tell you what, these NASCAR winners from the 50s, they were still around up until like recently. And we didn't even know who they were. Michigan State Fairgrounds Speedway. He won the Southern 500 in 1953. Oh, that was his last race. My bad. He didn't win it. That was Charlotte. Race 5 at Charlotte Speedway in 1953. And how many races they have at Charlotte in the 50s? People complain about them having 2 dates a year now. They had 3 in 2020. 5 races in 1 year at the same track. Probably all the same week. Crazy. Yeah, Dick Passwater. Is he related to Trickle? Same first name, different last name. Yeah, Dick Trickle's a good one. But Dick Passwater, that's another good one. He won a race. Yeah, I don't know if I got Trickle in there. We didn't get Jerry Nadeau. That's disappointing. Norm Nelson, don't know who that guy is. Lloyd Moore, Sam McQuigg. I've heard of him. Johnny Mance, know him. Big dirt racer, by the way, I think. Pretty sure. 1950, he won his only cup race. Paul Lewis, 66. Harold Kite, never heard of him. Jim Hurtubise? John Kuiper. Bobby Hillin Jr., which I think I missed on the Xfinity list yesterday. Royce Haggerty, Danny Graves, Larry Frank, Jimmy Florian, Lou Figueroa, Joe Eubanks, Mark Donahue, 73. Maybe could have gotten that one. Marvin Burke, Neil Cole, Jim Cook, Dick Brooks, Bob Burdick, Richard Brickhouse. We know that, Talladega. Johnny Allen, Bill Amick, Earl Balmer, Ron Burchard. That is all that we missed. Yeah, of the names we missed, I mean, I probably only know like maybe a dozen of them. Maybe a little more than that, because, I mean, some of these we probably should have gotten, like Marvin Panch and Cotton Owens. Probably should have gotten Dick Hutcherson. And then there were some names, obviously, from Austin Dillon, I think, is the only current driver we missed. Crazy stuff. Full points race declared before half distance. No, you have to get to the halfway mark. They declare the race already? Hang on. There's no way they did. I don't think they can do that by NASCAR rulebook. I think they have to get half the race in. There's a national anthem going on in my ear. I need to see what this is. Oh, this is the IndyCar. IndyCar at Mid-Ohio is going on right now. This is going on like an hour and a half south of me. It's a nice facility, I will say. And I will not be doing commentary. I was kind of confused why they had the national anthem going on. I thought I was missing something. Dick Passwater. Oh, jeez. That's a good one. That is a good one. Let me check the word on the Xfinity race, see what's going on here. We'll do one more quiz. Yeah, we gotta look at this. Hang on. NASCAR news, Xfinity Series. Heavy rain delays. Sunday's resumption of Xfinity race. Heavy rain has delayed the resumption of Xfinity race. Yada, yada, yada. Are they going to continue it on Peacock or something? What's going on here? I missed something. NASCAR Xfinity Series race, 25 laps. Will resume Sunday, USA. But they have the IndyCar race going on right now, so I don't know. Did somebody catch it while we were doing the quizzes? Because I missed it. I apologize for that. Live commentate the IndyCar race because NASCAR broke. No, wait. They broke their own rule. Wait, hang on. Hold on. They called the race. Cole Custer declared winner. I missed this. We were doing this quiz during the rain delay, and I missed. We got to get to the bottom of this. We've got to get to the bottom. They could have just ran 5 laps under caution if they really wanted to. I think that would have been, at least, by rule, they would have gotten half of the racing. They could have done that yesterday. Then we wouldn't have even had to worry about this today. Did they actually call the winner of the race? I missed this. I mean, they got IndyCar going on right now. I'm not going to commentate the IndyCar race because we will have to step away here before the Cup race is on a little later. I don't see anything on NASCAR's website, and I missed. Huge breaking news there. I apologize for that. That's really bad on me. Could have ran under yellow. MRN reported Custer the winner. I apologize that I missed that. I wasn't paying attention to the race. We were doing the quizzes during the rain delay. So we literally streamed for nothing today. I mean, we had some fun, but I could have been recovering my Cup notes for the stream later. I would have had them done by now. I guarantee it. Yeah, that wasted my time. Yeah, I can't do the IndyCar race. I don't even know who's in the race. Nothing of what's gone on this weekend. Heard of Goober. Yeah, that's a cool name too. I'm gonna name my kid Goober. Thanks for any newcomers that have gotten into this live stream, by the way, that haven't shouted out during the course of the trivia we were doing. I mean, that's true. I know they can't run it afterwards. It's probably because it's a street race. Like if they were at a normal purpose-built like racetrack, road course, oval, doesn't matter. I don't think you'd see this. I think you'd see like the finish of the race get moved to Monday if it had to. But because it's a street race and they literally have to tear stuff down at a specific time, probably tomorrow, to open the streets back up to the public, and I think that it's probably somewhere in the contract that they have to do that. And that's probably why they called it. Like I don't think you would see this in any other circumstance other than a street race. So Custer wins. So we'll go through the full field finishing results here then, if this is the finish of the race. It says non-live, non-active. Yeah, that's weird. So Cole Custer, if he is the winner, based off of our unofficial results here, Custer wins. John Hunter Nemechek finishes second. Justin Allgaier third. Brett Moffitt fourth. Austin Hill fifth. Sammy Smith sixth. Daniel Hemrick seventh. Chandler Smith 8th, Parker Kligerman 9th, and Kaz Gralla rounds out the top 10. Sheldon Creed ends up 11th, Preston Pardis in 12th, Miguel Paludo in 13th, Kyle Weatherman 14th, Alex Jeanette 15th, Parker Chase 16th, Blaine Perkins 17th, Connor Mosack 18th, Sam Mayer 19th, Jeb Burton 20th, Jeremy Clements 21st, Alex Obey 22nd, Sage Karam 23rd, Josh Berry 24th, Riley Herbst 25th, Ryan Sieg 26th, Brandon Poole 27th, Anthony Alfredo 28th, Spencer Pompelli 29th, Parker Retzlaff finishes 30th then, Brandon Jones 31st, that's going to hurt him in points. He was already 51 back at the cutoff line, now he's going to be even worse. Ryan Ellis 32nd, Brad Perez 33rd, Joe Graff Jr. 34th, Brent Sherman 35th, all in the lead lap. Josh Williams 3 laps down 36th, Andre Castro 37th, and Justin Marks ends up 38th. Well, ain't that something? Crazy. Not halfway. Halfway before. Yeah, they were halfway through stage 2. That's not the rule. Yeah, well, just what if that's what they did? Where it's like we're gonna finish the race back home in Charlotte on the sim rigs, like that. That's how they're gonna finish the race. They're gonna line everybody up in the position they're running in now. Can you imagine if like some of these drivers that are running like part time, they're like, I don't even have NASCAR on iRacing. Like, it's like, well, it looks like you DNF'd. What if that's how we decide the finish of the race? Could you imagine? All right, well, we'll do one more quiz then, and then end the stream. Well, they got to get the cup race. Could you imagine if they just like canceled it? It's not supposed to rain later. That we know. We checked the weather. Rain's going to be out of there by about 3 o'clock local time. The race doesn't start until almost 5 local time. So they'll get the cup race in. No problem. Mother Nature at its finest. All right. We'll give ourselves one more NASCAR quiz and then wrap this up. What is this? Most wins, but never blank. Curious to know what this is. I'm clicking on it. Sporcle's slow, which we found out a couple times yesterday. Yeah, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. They'll get the cup race in, no problem. And they could have gotten the Xfinity race in early, too. Can you name the NASCAR drivers who have never won a Cup Series championship, but they've won 20 or more races throughout their careers? I mean, we're just looking at the wins list. Yeah, we're not going to do that. That's kind of cheat. Oh, let's do polls. Yeah, hang on. That was one we were thinking about doing we didn't do. Let's do NASCAR Cup polls. NASCAR last poll for each car number. Oh my god. No. Poll winners all time. I kind of want to poll sitters 90s, 2020, 2019, 2018, 2000, 2009. Jeez. NASCAR pole sitters without a win. 37. Let's do it. Let's do it. It gives us the car number. NASCAR drivers to have qualified on the pole, but they have never won a cup race. Modern era. This is our final quiz. This is going to be tough. So we have to name drivers who haven't won a race, but have won a pole. Oh boy. All the names you guys are naming in the chat right now are not right. I will tell you that. So, once again, Cole Custer is the winner today for anybody just tuning in. We're going to do one more quiz. So, anybody who has never won. Hey, Custer didn't do anything wrong. He led every lap. So, I guess if you were to... there is that. Qualified on the pole, led every lap. Even though we didn't necessarily, win. It's a win in the record books one way or another, I guess. Mark Donahue. He has a win, though, I thought. Didn't he have a win? I thought he was on that last list. Alright. We gotta look at this. It's gonna be tough. I'm just trying to think of names off the top of my head. I think Scott Riggs has a pole, right? We only have 8 minutes. This could be tough to get the average score. Let's try it. Scott Riggs, I believe, has a pole. Yep. 2006. Blaney? Let's go Dave Blaney. I saw 22 Toyota on there, and I was like, maybe it's Dave Blaney. It was. Reed Sorensen, I think, was the other one in 07. Looking at the 41 car. We got to get these recent names. J.J. Yaley would have been the 18 in 07. A lot of guys, 07, qualified to the pole, never won a cup race. Carpentier has one. That was New Hampshire, 2008. 28 car, 2008. Oh my goodness, I don't even know. Josh Wise ever do it? No. I don't know why he popped in my head. Oh jeez. Oh jeez. 42 car in 2014. It might. I think it's gonna be Larson. Yeah, that's not fair. Even though that's not accurate, because he has one now. That's just when this quiz was updated. Same thing with Dylan. 38, probably the same. Gilliland? Yeah, okay. 33. Is that Stephen Light? No, okay. .33 car in Kevin Conway? who drove the 33 in 2014? He had a pole. Kenny Wallace, Casey Atwood. Yeah, he was on the pole for the 500, wasn't he? Yeah, in 2001. 92 car. Dodge in 2001. Oh my goodness. Hang on, Jason Leffler is the 01, I think. Yep. Number 1. Yeah, it would be Kenny Wallace. That was the Kenny Wallace one somebody mentioned. 66. Jeff Green on the list? Okay, David Green and Jeff Green. Jeff Green was the 30 in 2003. 01 Pontiac. Well, Nadu won a cup race. He ran the 01 and 03. Nemechek did also. Who else ran in the 01? Nemechek might have stepped into that car in 04. I don't think he was running in 03. 03 was Nadu. Nadu wrecked at Richmond. He was out of a ride. But Nadu won a cup race. Oh, my goodness. Number 60 in 2000. Oh, my God. This is difficult, guys. It's not Newman. It's not Kyle Petty. Kevin LePage, maybe? Yeah, Kevin LePage, 99. 16 car. That was a good one. Remember, guys, this is drivers. It's not Mayfield because he's won a cup race. He's won 5 of them. Quaffle. That might be it. Well, that's the 28 car, 2008. Okay, so Quaffle was one. Cup. The Xfinity race is done. Cole Custer was declared the winner. Rain shortened. We were just doing this during the rain delay. What else are we looking here in the chat? Fireball Roberts is one. And we're naming. Oh yeah, Danica Patrick, duh. It's 2013. We have to name drivers who have qualified on the pole and never won a cup race. There's quite a few in 2001. We got 3 of the 4. The 92. The 01 car in 03 is throwing me off. Like, who filled in for Jerry Nadeau? And obviously it would be Nemechek. Because they've both won. Number 64 in 06. Oh my goodness. Jack Ingram. Nope. I just hope we get the average score. This is Sporcle. Mike Skinner is probably on the list, yes. Yeah, Skinner. Oh, Skinner drove the 01. I did not know that. Honestly, I did not know Skinner was in the 01 car that year. Wow, okay. Number 66 in 2002. I remember Jeff Green driving that car in the mid-2000s, but we already got Jeff Green. And that was before he drove the 66. Who drove the 66 before Jeff Green? And never won a cup race, too. Is David Stremme on the list? No, okay. 33 car in 2014. Brian Scott? It is. Oh my goodness. I didn't realize he ever qualified on the pole in the Cup Series. Jeez, I'm surprised I got that. 28 car in 1999. It's Robert Yates Racing at the time, right? Oh, no, Kenny Irwin's got to win, though. Who else is it? If it's not Irwin. Oh, it is her. Okay, never mind. I was thinking Kenny Irwin did have a win. 75 car in 1998. Todd Bodine? Okay, he was the 66 in 02. At least we got him. The number 3 car in 89? Somebody fill in for Dale Earnhardt in 89 and qualified on the pole? And never won a cup race. Who would have drove that car? Was it a road course? Was it like Ron Fellows or something? No. Boris said was the number 1606. Okay, I'm glad I guessed that. Yeah, that was way before 1989. Somebody qualified on the pole in Dale Earnhardt's car in 89, and I'm guessing it would have been on a road course. Like, you would think. ...2001 and the 92. Yeah, 50 seconds. Ted Musgrave on here? Yes, okay. I saw the 16 Ford, so I thought of him. Is Chad Little on the list? No. LaJoy's not going to be on the list. No, Randy's not. Just trying to think 90s. This is tough. John Andretti's won, though. He won a cup race, so it wouldn't be Andretti. Marlin's obviously won some. And John Andretti has won, what, 1 or 2 cup races? Craven? I don't know. I'm drawing blanks right now of names I haven't. Ramos Stott's on the list. Oh, there he is again. J.D. McDuffie, Joe Ruttman's on the list. Jimmy Hensley, Dick Trickle, Chuck Brown, Loy Allen Jr. I should have gotten that one, 94 500. Hut Strickland, Rick Mast, 98, 75 car. Chuck Brown, George Fulmer, Sam Summers, Stacy Compton in 2001 qualified on the pole. Jimmy Hensley drove Dale Earnhardt's number 3 to a pole in 1989 for Richard Childress Racing. I did not know that. I honestly did not know that, and I'm curious if anybody in the chat, like, maybe they're like, oh yeah, that's right, like after seeing that, or Jimmy Hensley. I'm curious to know what track that was. I like automatically assume it was like a road course or something, but for whatever reason he couldn't qualify. He might have been injured. Was it Mike Dillon? It wasn't Mike Dillon. No. Yeah, Jimmy Hensley was that driver. Yeah, that was a tough quiz. That was tough. It was fun, though. We got all the current, like, outside of Stacy Compton, we got everybody in the 2000s on up, so that was good. And then Rick Mast, 98. That would have been the Brickyard 400. Okay, so I remember that now that I'm thinking about it. And then Loy Allen Jr., like I mentioned, was the 594. But outside of the other ones, I couldn't name the races that they, qualified on the pole. I know some of the names. But, yeah, pretty interesting list. We did get the average score, which is good. 23 out of 37, 62%. Average score is 48, so he did a good job. I don't know how I don't remember Brian Scott qualifying on the pole. Maybe it was because it was rain shortened. What they used to do, and I don't know the time frame of this, but if qualifying got rained out, they went off of practice times, and that's why you see, like, I think in 2007, I think that's why, like, Blaney, Sorensen, Yaley had poles. It was around that era where that's where they based the qualifying off of. And it wasn't the case for all of their qualifying efforts, but I remember they did used to do that. I think Travis Quaffle in 08, I think that's how he got his pole. David Gilliland's, by the way, I think that was the Summer Daytona Race 2014 when they did the group qualifying on the super speedways. And I think that might be how Brian Scott got his also. I'm not entirely sure on that. And I think the 33 car would have been an RCR entry. I don't remember him getting the pole. I was just trying to think of guys that drove that car around that time, and I got it right, I guess. Right now I realize car of Bobby Labonte, Penrose Firecracker, red and black. Seeing what other people said in the chat. I don't know if anybody said anybody in the chat that I didn't put on that list. Oh, somebody did say J.D. McDuffie with Mark Witkowski. Sorry I didn't see that. That was the only one I think the chat said that I didn't put in there. I didn't see it. All right, well, that's going to end this live stream. Had fun. I mean, we streamed for 3 hours even though there was no race. Cole Custer, again, your race winner for this NASCAR Xfinity Series race on the Chicago Street Car. So live commentary for the Cup race will begin at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time later today, so hope to see you for that. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Hit the like button on your way out. Subscribe for more daily NASCAR content, and I'll see you a little later.